What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of DC Action Hour. Yeah! Oh my God! Yes, that was a scary gorilla sound we just heard there. Because we have a very special guest today, and it is David Sobolov, who plays Grodd on The Flash and Legends of Tomorrow. Hello, David.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being on.
Oh, thank you.
We're going to talk to David in just a second here. Guys, I'm Jeff, if you haven't seen the show before, and I'm joined as always by my co-host Marx.
Hello, everyone.
And we have a special guest co-host today. He is the rock god of podcasting. It's Charles McFall.
Yeah, I'm a little verklempt sitting next to Gorilla Grodd. It's so awesome.
I can understand. So, folks, welcome back. We were on a hiatus, obviously, because all the shows, CWDC shows were on hiatus. And they all came back this week, well, except for Legends. But all the other ones came back. So we're going to talk later on in the show about the premiere of Black Lightning and new episodes of Arrow, Supergirl, and The Flash. And we're going to, of course, do an interview here with David. If you're in the live chat, which I see some people already are, I see Lister's Mate Race and Carrie Johnson are there. They all say, hey, and good evening, folks. And Lister's Mate's very excited. I think Grodd's maybe his favorite character, actually, on all these shows. So welcome, folks. Thank you for watching. We always appreciate you. Please chat away there. You can also tweet us at Super Geeked Up. All right, so before we get into things, we always like to start things off with a fun super tweet question, which Marx came up with. Is very relevant to our guest today.
Yes, so the super tweet is, who's your favorite fictional gorilla, ape, chimpanzee, or monkey character?
All right, you want to start with our guest?
Oh, sure.
David, do you have a favorite one of those outside of course Grodd?
One of your fans said the same thing. Cornelius in Planet of the Apes.
Yes, that's a great choice.
And one of the reasons I relate to this is that show, that movie series, those apes had emotion. They weren't just creatures, and that's certainly what we're doing with Grodd as well. So it kind of relates.
Oh yeah.
That's a great point. Absolutely. I see Victor Snyder just joined us in the chat as well. He says, "Hello, it's good to see you all again. Thank you. It's nice to at least see you guys in the chat. I know we can't see your faces, but we're picturing you. But thank you. It's good to be back after like 5 weeks, I guess we were off for. Hope everybody had a great holiday. Happy New Year to everyone. Hope it's off to a good start. All right. So Charles, do you have a favorite gorilla, etc.?
Yeah. Well, there's two really, because both from my childhood watching. Legion of wasn't Legion of Doom. It wasn't Super Friends, but it was where Legion of Doom. I first saw him. Gorilla Grodd being one of my favorites, but Grape Ape, man. Surfing and then jumping on the van. And
that's one of my choices, man.
Yeah, I loved Grape Ape.
That's funny. I looked it up on Wikipedia to remind myself because that's from my childhood, and I saw and like it was Grape Ape, and then it was his buddy Beagle, and he drove the van and he rode on top of the van. It was great.
So, and apparently, because, and I've always loved Gorilla Grodd. Now, maybe mixing something up in my mind here, but the idea of this huge, because I was always a big kid, right? And I was treated like I was dumb. And so this idea of this big, huge, strong character who's also a genius was great. But then when I first started podcasting, we were doing video and stuff, and we were able to allow listeners to do video as well, and which is a mistake. And this puppet came up and he called himself Grodd. I'm like, oh, Gorilla Grodd. Now, apparently, there's another monkey Grodd in the cartoon world out there as well. And I want to say, man, it's been so long, but my mind says it's some kind of Ghostbusters, but it wasn't like the Ghostbusters we know. It was like a 1970s offbeat Ghostbusters.
Well, I can tell you one thing. First off, that's a fake Grodd, if anything. But there's only one. There's only one real Grodd. Now, there was actually this came up in one of our listeners' chats. In the 80s, there were two Ghostbusters animated series. One was called The Real Ghostbusters, which was made based off of the films, the Ghostbusters films. There was another one called just Ghostbusters, which was based off of a different, I forget the company, I was just reading about this, but they actually existed as a live-action movie in the 70s, and then they made an animated series off of it. The Ghostbusters we know actually had to license their name from this series because they existed before them. And there was a gorilla in that series who helped them fight ghosts. But it wasn't named Grodd. It was named. I'll get to it. It's one of our
There's
chats.
something else. But yeah, I was like, get off of my show. You're no Gorilla Grodd.
There's probably no legal way there's another Grodd, because when did they start Grodd, in the 60s?
Probably.
they've had it locked down for decades. There's no way.
Well, you also, but you're talking about in the '60s and media, and especially comic books and licensing. You know, it was kind of fast and loose back then, wasn't it?
Yeah, it probably was.
Yeah, that's why we have Captain Marvel in both DC and Marvel universes.
Right,
you know?
right. Yeah.
Did you guys ever hear that the word superhero went to court years ago, and both DC and Marvel jointly own it?
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Wow, I did not know that. How about
I think they
that?
were fighting over it. They finally just agreed to share it.
Huh. That's very interesting. There you go, folks. You
Yeah,
learned
I
something
don't
new.
think any other company can use the word superhero at all. The phrase.
Well, that lawsuit came up with somebody wrote a book and it hit like New York bestseller, and then Marvel and DC said like, no, you can't write a book called Superhero because we own that, and then it was a big court case like David's saying, and then they had to split. They had to have joint custody. They get it every other weekend and holidays.
In the live chat to this question, listener says, "Duh, it's Grodd." Other than him, it's all the Planet of the Apes gorillas. All right, so he's with you there, David. Then he says, "Then again, Mickey, Davey, Peter, and Mike are my favorites." Oh wait, those are the monkeys. Yeah, okay. Victor Snyder says, "I'm using the time machine and going with the 1933 King Kong." That's a good choice.
All right, that's a good one.
Yep. Marx, what's your choice?
It's really Gorilla Grodd, pretty much. If I was go back when I was a little kid, it would have been Donkey Kong.
Yeah, tell you Donkey Kong. Some of our viewers chose him as well. So besides Grape Ape, which Charles already said, that was one of my choices, I'm going to go with a more recent one, and that's Caesar from the recent Planet of the Apes movies. Particularly the very first one. I just think, I cared more about him than many human characters. They just did an amazing job, I think, and Andy Serkis did a very awesome job as always with him. All right, so let's share some. We had actually a lot of answers on Twitter and Facebook to this question. Let's just run these down quickly here, guys. So I'm going to start on Twitter. At Snuggernaut said Donkey Kong. At Waylon Smith 1 said Grodd. He's powerful, terrifying if written right, and can be such a savage, brutal foe. He can give most solo heroes and some teams a run for their money. It's well said. He's actually on a panel with me on Dragon Kong. Marks, what else we got?
At Anycat Cornelius from the original Planet Apes, which we've already mentioned a few of us liked, played by the late, great Roddy McDowall, whose brilliant physical acting, I believe, can be seen today in the work of the amazing Andy Serkis. And at Maria Duran, she says, Megilla Gorilla.
Yeah.
Another good animated from the 80s, right? One, yeah.
I'm unfamiliar with that one.
Or 70s and 80s, yeah, animated.
Yeah. Glenn Power Williams says Kong, which is always a good one. And Megan Lance says the Capuchin monkey from the Night at the Museum, which actually is a really good choice. It's a good choice.
In the live chat, by the way, Old Titans just joined us. Actually, he's been on our show before. He says Grodd or anything by Roddy McDowall. Hey, good timing. We just talked about that. Kelly Lee, 1974 on Twitter, said, "Oh, she just basically listed the whole thing. She loves gorilla characters. Grodd, Grape Ape, Megilla Gorilla, Donkey Kong, Sullivar, Mighty Joe Young, Caesar, and Maurice the orangutan." And at Best Practitioner also says Cornelius and King Kong. That was very popular choices. On Facebook, Marks, what do we got?
We got from Pappas Cornelius from the Planet of the Apes movie is played by Roddy McDowall, very popular one. Charles Churchio. My kryptonite's name, so sorry about that. The 1986 Ghostbusters animated series. Oh, there you go. There's the name right
Tracy
there.
the Gorilla,
Tracy.
yes, from the Ghostbusters. That's what I was thinking of before.
Carlos Ramirez says Megilla Gorilla when I was little, and don't forget Dr. Zeus. I always say it wrong. Zeus. Dr. Zeus says, I remember The Simpsons, right? Amadeus, Dr. Zeus. There it is. Now I got it. Dr. Zeus. From Planet of the Apes movies. And Lizzie Silva says, I thought Evil Monkey from Family Guy. Oh! Yes, the Evil Monkey where it just sticks out of the closet and goes... It points. The Evil Monkey from Family Guy. That's a good one.
And Tammy Anderson on Facebook, it said, the librarian from Terry Pratchett's Discworld, Wizards Academy.
Oh, yeah.
And just the live, Carrie Johnson said, Gleek from Super Friends. Why can't I remember that? I love Super Friends.
Because Gleek was the pet of the Wonder Twins.
Oh! I didn't know. I forgot the name. Yeah.
Weird mouth thing.
Wonder Twins are great. Yeah. All right, there you go. Thank you, folks, for all those answers. They were great. This is a very popular question, Marks, actually, that you came up with.
It was. People love gorillas and apes. Yeah.
They do. All right. So let's get to some questions here for David. Plenty of questions about Grodd and Flash and Legends, but also about some. He does a lot of other stuff. We're actually just talking on the show about all his credits on IMDb. He's done a lot of different amazing stuff. So first thing let's start with Grodd, which has of course been on the Flash and now on Legends of Tomorrow. So David, did you know anything about the character before you played him?
No, nothing at all. And on purpose, when I play a character that existed before, I don't go back and listen or watch anything unless, obviously, it could be in my brain if I already know it. But I've got to go with what is current, what the producers want, and it's a kind of a different canon, a different take on it. And to me, we made it theatrical. We didn't want it to be. It was really crucial that this not be cartoony. And to pull it off, it was me, the producers, the writers, the other actors. It was a huge group effort, and we were thrilled that we could do it. We didn't know if we could, but we did it.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, hell yeah. I definitely say you guys succeeded very well.
Yeah, because it easily could have just been a joke. And, it was just, we were so happy that it turned out the way it did. Jesse L. Martin in that first big Grodd scene in the sewer, wow.
Yeah.
That's great acting. And no, there's a fellow there that actually is in a gorilla suit. There's no performance capture. You can't do that on TV. It's $150,000 a day for those stages. So they did it all on the computer. Those people are brilliant that do the visual special effects. But Jesse L. Martin was acting with a guy in a gorilla suit, and he totally bought it. He totally believed it.
That's awesome. In the chat, we have a new listener here. One Red Fox 2 says, Grodd is the freaking best. Go, David. Well, there you go.
Thanks.
Got a big fan in there. All in caps. That leads me to one of my later questions I was going to ask, but I'll ask it now.
Hold on. I'll say something based on that scene.
Go.
To your question.
Go for it.
So, I always have high hopes for these comic book TV shows, right? And they don't always reach those high hopes. And we're going through season 1 of The Flash. I'm like, it's all right. It's CW. There's a love interest. I'm 40 years old. I don't really care if he gets his true love or not. And he's in the sewer. And David, your voice just came out, and I was a little schoolgirl. I was like, it better be Gorilla Grodd. If that's not Gorilla Grodd, I'm gonna punch my TV. And here comes, of course, the computerized Gorilla Grodd, and your voice. I was so happy. It made my world. They can do wrong on the Flash, but if I already said this off there, but if they do Gorilla Grodd once a season, they can do no wrong. And if
the nice thing is he doesn't come on that often, so he's a bit of a treat when he comes on.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love it because I thought when they wrapped up his story and put him on. I don't know if everybody's. It's not this season. It was
that's fine. It's a few seasons ago.
Anymore. It's been too long.
Yeah. Okay. So when they put him on the planet, right, and did or shifted him out to another planet, I thought, oh man. Oh, I guess I'm done with Gorilla Grodd. It was nice while it lasted. And then he shows up again, and I squealed like a little girl, so it's awesome. I loved it.
All right.
Well, hopefully he'll keep coming back, and this is really a unique situation for an actor because on the CW, on these DC shows, he could pop up on any show.
Yeah.
You never know. I hope I end up on Supergirl someday.
Nice. I know what Marx. I know what one of our viewers would say. He wants to see it on Riverdale.
That's probably never going to happen. Yeah. You never know.
That would be hysterical.
You can't ever say that it probably never happened.
Yeah,
it could.
Bring him over to Supernatural. That would be awesome.
Yeah. So
throw him on other networks too, like throw him on a cop show or something.
Yeah, the Good Doctor. That's Gorilla Grodd. That'd be awesome.
In the chat, Victor Snyder says, "I see
Detective show."
Yeah,
a detective show. Sure, why not? Well, I mean, now he has a partner in crime, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Damien Dark.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah. You have to keep watching, folks.
It pretty much teased that he'll be back, at the end of that episode.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, in the chat.
Bouncing around time, causing trouble.
Yeah, and he already has. I only saw like half the Bebo episode so far, and I know that he's in there somewhere.
He does show up in there. If you haven't seen it, folks, we won't say where, but... All right, in the chat, Victor says, I see Grodd as a victim that is evil cause of his treatment by humans. in the CW shows, which kind of leads to my next question. That's a good point, Victor. David, how do you view Grodd as a character, and how do you think Grodd views himself?
Well, he evolved on our show because he didn't know where he came from, and he was trying to find who he was. And when he asked Caitlin to make more of him, I think he wasn't trying to take over the world per se. He just wanted friends. He wanted other people that were like him. And I think now it gets a little confusing because he's bouncing around time. Like, how long was he in 1967 Vietnam? In that little quirk, So things will evolve now even more because he's smarter now. And he doesn't trust people anymore. And it even came up in that last Legend of Tomorrow episode. He got betrayed in his mind. He got betrayed yet again. So he just starts to trust somebody, and then they betray him. So when will he learn? I think that's going to be one of his flaws, because I think he's vulnerable. He's vulnerable to... He wants somebody to love. And Caitlin was his first one. I'm really maybe extrapolating a little bit more than what the writers are, but I kind of have to do that to act it, I think. And I kind of always want there to be... If there's a little bit of sadness in there, there's a lot of humanity. So there's always going to be, hopefully, moments in every show where he's a little bit quiet, a little bit... Maybe vulnerable is the wrong word. Maybe just not super hard and, just with one purpose. He might actually have some thoughts and maybe some psychological things he could go to therapy for in his mind. And it's funny because it isn't the same Grodd really, but on the cartoon Justice League Action that's appearing right now on Cartoon Network, I went on there as Grodd a couple of times. And there is actually a scene where he's in therapy.
That's funny. That fits that show. That show's fun, yeah.
I was actually going to ask you about that. Did you try to voice Grodd differently at all in that interpretation?
The direction was very different. However, when I could, I tried to give him moments of what happens on the CW show just for the fans. There's another Grodd as well that I did. That's in a theme park in Australia. There's an animatronic Grodd.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and he had to be kind of a different interpretation as well, because it's an outdoor character and you have to be heard. If I'm going, Grodd, eat banana. No one's gonna hear me.
Right.
Nice. Let me. We got some chat stuff coming in here from folks watching live. Raisa says Grodd is a victim, is how she sees him. Victor wants to see Grodd versus Black Lightning, and he says he would put all his money on Grodd in that fight.
I to be honest, in my mind, in my heart, I kind of feel that there might be a slight concern about the look of a racist thing in that. I don't know that he'll ever appear on that show. I can't know his decisions, but I would be concerned that some people construe it as slightly racist, so it may never happen.
Well, supposedly
that's unfortunate.
They've also said supposedly though that Black Lightning's not in the same universe as the rest of them, so it's probably not going to be that way either.
And I know we're not talking about Black Lightning now, but that was like a book you couldn't put down. Could you even stop watching that episode? It's like, what happens next?
No,
what happens
good.
next?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
And folks, keep on. We will, after our interview with David, we're going to kick things off with Black Lightning discussion. So stick around for that. Listeners Mate in the chat says Grodd is just like Livewire. They are both underrated characters that the CW needs to use more. I hate how the CW underrates a lot of their characters that they could use a lot more. So he wants to see more Grodd, basically.
I would love to see more Grodd too, but to be honest, Grodd episodes are 50% more expensive than any other episode of The Flash or Legends of Tomorrow.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So they have to sort of use him wisely and sparingly.
Which is good. Like you said, it teases us and we get this great awesomeness. Whereas, I like Damien Dark, but we get him all the time in all the different universes in episodes. So, it's nice to be surprised when Gorilla Grodd shows up.
And I'm hoping also that it may start to get cheaper, as all the elements are in the computers and technology has progressed, certainly in the few years since we've started all this. It might get to the point where they can see him more often, which would be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Kerry Johnson says, if Grodd needs friends, let him holler at Amaya from Legends. I think they have an interesting dynamic together. And they kind of did that a little bit in the last episode, actually, of Legends.
Yeah, I think I agree.
Absolutely. And Old Titan says, how about I like this count. Vice Principal Grodd from DC Superhero Girls works anywhere.
Yes.
I have a feeling he can't really masquerade as anything else at this point. Not that he'd be masquerading as the vice principal, but they're not going to do that.
I would love that though. They used Principal Coulson in Ultimate Spider-Man in Marvel, so why not put Vice Principal Grodd, man, in DC?
Yeah.
Well, if it'll happen anywhere, it'll happen on Legends of Tomorrow. It's such a wacky, crazy, zany show at this point.
Yeah.
All right, so is there any one thing you like to see the writers do with Grodd that they haven't done yet? That you're kind of wishing for?
Not that they haven't, but more of the same. I mean, I would really like to see more episodes like the episode of the sewer and the Caitlin Always Kind moment was kind of one of my favorite moments. Where he has moments of that humanity. I want to dig deeper into what he's thinking and what he's feeling. Not that it's the touchy-feely Grodd all the time, but if it's just Hulk smash all the time, that might not really be satisfying for the fans. I think he's smart, so let's see a little complexity.
I agree fully.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're going to do that. I'm sure that's going to happen.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's why people empathize with him and like him so much. Yeah.
Yeah, if he was just sort of one note, I don't think people would care.
Well, I mean, look what they did with the Vietnam episode of Legends, right? That was already an evolved, smarter, learned from his mistakes Grodd, where you don't even know Grodd's there until halfway through the thing, because he's just that influence behind it all. And yeah, I think you've got a long way to go with this character, David. I think you're going to have a good run with this.
I sure hope so, and I'm very grateful. It's been a great opportunity for me.
So you kind of answered this a little bit, I think, earlier. I wanted to know if you were ever on set doing your dialogue, but it sounds like you're not. That they have someone just standing in.
No, I've been offered the opportunity to go to set. It's in Vancouver, and I work in Los Angeles, so that's another thing that may hold me back. But I would like to make sure that happens at some point, and I may try to make that happen.
So you do that?
It may be it might be kind of something that I initiate, because it wouldn't be the normal course of production.
Right. So you do all your stuff in post then, after everything else is pretty much done, right?
Yeah, and sometimes very, very close to when it's done. It's sometimes literally the day after they film it. Usually in normal animation, if you consider that animation, the voice would come first, but it actually works better if I can see the scene.
That makes sense. So I'm assuming that you would take the script a little bit, and because you've seen the scene, you kind of put yourself into it. You change it a little bit and add what you think needs to go into the scene.
Yeah, well, Jeff Garrett is there, one of the producers of the show, and he's there for both of the shows. So he's been the consistent director through this whole thing, and we work out every angle of it. We're not just going to do one take and walk away. Sometimes there's 20 takes of each line, just sort of exploring with different things that it could be. And then I come back a second time when it's pretty much all ready to go, and just finesse it.
Nice.
Very cool. All right, Charles, you got some questions for him? Other ones?
I do. So I always find it interesting how people get into voice acting, and David, especially somebody with your distinctive growl and low voice, and you do such amazing characters. When you were little, did you ever have dreams in your eyes like, I'm going to grow up to be an imaginary character on TV? It's like you get to play the most awesome game of pretend. What was it that brought you to being a voice actor?
Well, when I was a kid, the only voice thing I thought of was doing promos, because I always had this nostalgia interest, like old TV, old.
So you were really thinking about doing it yourself?
I was thinking about not characters so much, but I wanted to be like a promo guy.
Okay.
This is WNBD Toledo, something like that. But that never really happened for me. And then I ended up getting into French horn. I was a musician for a while, and I toured singing with an a cappella group for a while. And then voice kind of found me. I was doing some plays in Vancouver, where I used to live, and an agent heard me and said, "Come do villains." Like, okay. And it seemed to be an area of show business where, they responded to what I did, and they were willing to help me make a living, which was important. And yeah, I would say it definitely found me. And then I just went on from there. And I already had some acting training. I was kind of pursuing an acting career, but it was difficult as a younger guy with a deep voice. They didn't really know what to do with me. So the villain route for voice acting made a lot more sense.
Yeah, I've got a little follow up to that. So everybody does odd jobs as they come on. Did you ever work the drive-through window at like a In-N-Out Burger or Burger King or something? Would you
No,
like
I
fries?
didn't do that. No,
Okay.
I worked in offices mostly. In New York City, I did office temp work.
Okay.
But yeah, I know that would have been funny.
Right.
So,
One
so
thing I
it
did-
sounds.
oh,
So it sounds
Sorry.
like the next musical episode really needs Gorilla Grodd singing in it.
I was hoping they would put him in that. Like maybe they will at some point. Yeah, I try to let them know I can sing, so that would be funny. That would be funny.
That would
But
be
one thing I
awesome.
used to do with my voice, I was kind of sadistic. But when I was younger, living in New York City, I like to find kind of like late at night some like resonant space, and I would just go. There'd be somebody like walking at the other end of the block, and I go, "Hey." And they like jump and keep going. I just play with it sometimes, but yeah, yeah, I'd love to be able to sing on the show, but who knows what's going to happen? I just love the fact that I never know what I'm going to get when the script shows up.
Nice.
That's awesome.
We got a request here from listeners, maybe one of our longtime listeners. He says, "Hey David, could you do something really funny and do some of the Grodd lines as the different voices that you've done through the years?" He means do a Grodd line as a different characters you've done. That's up to you if you would.
Well, I don't know. Like there's some, Grodd hate bananas is big line. So let's look through here. Well, Drax is a whole other thing because he's Marvel, and they'll kill me for doing this. But it'd be like, I am Drax the Destroyer. Grodd hate banana. I mean, that could be that, or what else? Duros alien from Battlefront 2, and what does he sound like? Oh, I don't know. I mean, the characters that don't speak English are kind of funny too. Because they might sound good as a gorilla, but I don't know. I can't really think of it.
No, well, thank you for doing that one for Drax. That was fun.
Well, I know one. How about Halo Wars, the Arbiter? Because he would say, "I don't." It's kind of similar though. I don't care for your little life. He was like that, and Grodd hate banana.
Awesome.
They're all kind of similar voices, but they just change in that where they come from colors the voice a bit.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Listener said, "Ha ha ha!" All right, so he enjoyed it. He smiley face. He put in the chat. He enjoyed that very much. You made his day because he loves Grodd and loves your work. All right, what else we got here? Actually, Charles, do you have a question about Drax, right, for him?
Yeah, I've talked to a few different voice actors, and like you're doing in the you get the animation. You said it earlier before we started the show. Most people don't know your face; they just know your name. And I know you studied acting. I know you were doing. I didn't know you were doing plays, but I knew you were pursuing acting before you got to the voice because I did my research on IMDb because I'm smart like that. But would you ever want to play one of these characters? I mean, obviously, Grodd is not necessarily what you'd want to do on screen, but would you want to play Drax on screen at some point?
Well, I mean, Dave Bautista has it locked down, so that's not going to happen. But no, I am pursuing on camera more than I used to. There's a couple films I'm going to be doing this coming year that I can't talk about much yet. But yeah, I'm moving more toward on camera as well as voice. So you'll be definitely seeing me on camera. So eventually, someone will know my face.
Sweet.
That'd be cool.
Not that that's the goal, but at some point, someone will know my face.
Well, I wish that Marvel would do a little more like DC, where you have the big screen stuff. Because you're right, Batista is locked in there. But if they did multi-universe, where there's a TV show, you could show up as Drax, and I think that'd be fun.
It would be.
We shall see. You never know. I don't plan on stopping doing this anytime soon, so we'll see what happens.
Cool.
Nice. In the chat, Victor wants to know: would Grodd enjoy pineapples?
Well, let's send him to Hawaii in 1957 or something, and Don Ho can be there singing, and hey, Legends of Tomorrow, man, we can go anywhere.
That's true. They went to Aruba, right? So why not go to Hawaii?
Yeah.
Well, and I think of Grodd hate banana. It may not come from this originally, but I don't even know where it comes. I haven't looked into where it comes from originally. There's probably a reason he says that, but it's like, don't be cliche, don't be prejudiced, don't like type me like everybody else. I'm not that gorilla.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Don't just put a banana in my hand and think I'm going to be happy. Don't insult me.
Yeah.
No, but I don't think he wouldn't be insulted by pineapple.
Now you don't, like you said, you've done a lot of work both with animation and video games. I was wondering, is there any significant difference in the process of voicing either type?
Oh yeah, quite a bit. And even with The Flash and Legends of Tomorrow, it's a different process than animation, which is a different process than games. Because most of the games, you're in isolation by yourself, like I guess I am with The Flash. But games, there's often a lot more material in a very short amount of time. My record for having to cram a lot of lines into a session, I did 638 lines in 4 hours.
12 hours!
And that was set it up on a screen. The director doesn't talk to me. We sort of got it into a pocket, and the direction was through a cursor on a screen.
Oh,
and if you didn't, well, that's the only way to do that many lines.
Okay.
And one take, if you liked it, the cursor moved. If you didn't, the cursor stayed there.
Wow.
You just did it.
That's how we banged it out. Yeah, it was something I did for Universal Vivendi years ago, but I don't even remember what the project was.
Wow, that's a lot, man. Were you like, never again I'm going to cram that much in?
Oh, it isn't about the volume. It's more like the screaming. When I did Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which became really popular, it was recently rebooted, playing Lieutenant Vasquez, that role nearly ended my career. Because doing 4-hour sessions of screaming, they know better now. Mostly it's 2 hours, but then it was 4 hours. And it sounds like, oh, look, you Hollywood guy doing 4 hours of work and complaining about it.
Yeah,
but
no.
Try like going, for 4 hours and see what happens to your voice. And doing that for several days, it was split up a bit, but I was talking like this. And I talked like that for 6 months.
Oh, wow.
I thought I was done. And I learned then the fact that you can only do what's humanly possible, and the game producers are learning that. So that's the huge difference in games. Because in animation, Drax might have a big fight every episode that lasts for 3 pages, but this would last for 4 hours. So it's a whole different thing. And luckily, there's a lot more subtlety in games now. So there's a lot more plot, a lot more story. It's not just fight and die all the time.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So but video games are a little more brutal. Animation's a little more story. Video games, oftentimes, they slap the script down in front of you the moment you arrive. You've never seen it. It's cold.
Wow. That's in video games, you're saying?
Yeah, most video games are like that. And it's a confidentiality thing.
Right.
Ah, okay. Wait, you voiced a lot of characters. Now, excluding Grodd, who was your favorite of yours to voice and why?
Well, it was fun years ago doing RoboCop.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
in the 90s. It was a comedic version of RoboCop. Nothing like any other RoboCop, and we just had a lot of fun with it. He sounds a lot like Drax. My favorite line from the whole series was a Christmas episode, and everybody's like fighting for bargains in a store, and he's walking through going, "Calm yourselves. Christmas is a time of joy and giving."
Awesome. In the chat,
40 episodes of that.
In the chat, we got some good comments and questions here. Carrie Johnson says, between you, David, and Tony Todd and Keith David, the Flash has had some awesome voice talent. Yes, those are all very, very talented gentlemen, along with you.
Yes, they are.
Raisa says, how many more eps will Grodd be in this season? So, Raisa, he can't reveal that, unfortunately.
I can't reveal that.
But
he will be back. He will be back, but I can't say how much.
All right. But you will see him again.
I could, but do I want to, and do they want me to? No.
No. I know you'll get in trouble with the powers that be.
Well, here's the thing, too. I mean, I have a very strong feeling about spoilers. The word spoiler in itself, I know that it seems very satisfying to know what's going to happen. You feel special, but it's not fun.
No.
How is it fun? If you already know what's going to happen, you've killed it.
So I hate it. I hate knowing,
Oh, God, yeah. Not at all.
It's very tough nowadays, too, about the internet to avoid them, but
Yeah.
Well, even when I work on the Star Wars movies, they take great pains with us to not show us some of the key stuff. And if we're not in the key, if somebody in the room is in the key stuff, we do a whole day of the whole movie. Because I was in Rogue One and now The Last Jedi, and they take us out of the room. They don't want to spoil it for us, and they don't want the chance of it spreading around either.
Yeah.
But boy, when I was Rogue One with Darth Vader, where he's like killing everybody,
Ceiling murder in the hallway. Yes, that's it.
Ceiling murder in the hallway. To see that, and we're like, wow, cool. And we're sitting there going, there's like thousands of people that wish they were us right now. We're so lucky.
But like you said, at the same time, spoilers. As a theater goer, I knew he was going to be in it because of where it's set, but just to see the reveal and to see how they did it, it was a beautiful thing to experience in the moment.
It was, and on that Darth Vader scene, to perform that scene with all the people, getting hurt. I was one of those people, and the voices of them, and they, at the time. They shot that scene long after the original shoot. So when I was working on it, they were all on strings, flying around. They were on gear that made them fly against the wall or something. Like, it was all really rough still. It was fun kind of seeing the bare bones, like what happens when I worked on Star Trek Into Darkness. It literally looked like a high school film project. Because it wasn't even close to being done. There was no music, no audio. The audio wasn't mixed yet. There was no CGI at all, so it looked like they were just sitting in cardboard boxes. That was pretty cool.
That's fun.
And then we're adding life to it.
Now, to follow that up, the similar question is, what character would you just do anything to either voice or even play on screen? Who's the one that that's your dream character to do?
Batman.
Nice. Nice.
And to do voice. I've never done Batman. I've auditioned for him several times. Hopefully someday that'll come up. I'll get to play Batman.
I am vengeance, I am the knight, I am Batman.
What does it say? What is it again? I am Batman. What's the first part?
Because I am vengeance, I am the knight, I am Batman.
I am vengeance. I am the knight. I am Batman.
That's so awesome.
That's great.
That was great.
They'd have to turn it up a bit.
Yeah.
No, but that was dead on.
You're amazing, David. You're great.
That's so good. Ooh, that made my night.
Yeah.
All right, we have I think two more, right, Charles? What do you got?
Let's see. We had the favorite. I don't know. I'm kind of stuck with Batman. I just want to.
All right.
Go to F to sleep as Batman. It'd be awesome. Okay. Well, you touched on it a little bit earlier. People with creative sides. You don't just voice act, right? You're creative. You touched on you did music in high school. You're a singer. What's some of the passions that you have off screen that people just don't really know about you?
Passions off screen. I'm probably a very boring person to most people because the career has such intense characters that I really need to preserve my energy for that. So I have a pretty sedate life, but the one thing that I do that's fun for me, it's the weirdest hobby in the world. It's almost no one I've ever met that has this hobby. I collect antique product packaging from the 1880s to the 1960s.
Wow.
And my entire place is full of it. It kind of looks like a museum or like an old antique store. And just commercial products. I like seeing how things were years ago, the history of them. I like products that still exist today. Like I got a 1957 box of Quick. I got a 1943 box of Ritz crackers that was buried in a barrel sealed underneath a cabin in Oregon in case the Japanese attacked.
Oh my God.
Stuff like that. So that's kind of my hobby.
That's a cool hobby to have.
That's very unique.
It is a lot of fun. It's fun because almost nobody has this hobby. So, I'm wandering the planet looking for products.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
So see, it's all boring. It's pretty boring.
No,
I love unique things. Yeah. In the chat, by the way, Raisa says she loved your Batman.
Oh, thanks.
Come on with it, man. Come on, they make so many animated stuff. Come on, man. Let David do it one time, guys. Everybody watch it.
It's luck of the draw.
Yeah, I know. I totally know. Anyway, so here's my final question. It's a very important one for the end. What should our viewers do when super intelligent gorillas take over the Earth?
Run.
Okay. All right, sounds good. All right, that's good advice, guys. I feel Grodd's definitely going to do that at some point. He's going to take over. So.
Yeah. Yep, it's going to happen.
Yeah. All right, so folks, if you would like to check more David stuff out, he has a website, sobolov.com, just your last name. You're at Volobos, right, on Twitter. Is that how you pronounce it?
It's my last name back.
Oh, I just noticed that. I just read it. I noticed it. Yeah, that's nice. Good. All right, awesome. Follow him there. Again, you can go on IMDb. You can check all his. You're probably gonna find a lot of stuff you may not even realize that he had done. A lot of cool stuff on there. So thank you so much for coming on. We had a blast chatting with you. Really appreciate you sharing your thoughts.
Great talking to you guys. Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
awesome.
Thank you for being on.
Yeah, have a great night.
You too.
All right, folks, that was David Sobolov. Thanks very much for him. And Marx, what are we going to do now?
We're going to talk about Black Lightning. Woo!
Hey, let's do it. And folks, yes, so the rest of the show, we're going to talk all the new episodes, Black Lightning, Arrow, Supergirl, Flash, so stick with us. And Marx, take it away.
All right, so Black Lightning premiered this week. It was an episode called The Resurrection. Written by, I didn't look and see how his name's pronounced, so I'm sorry if I mispronounced it, but Salim Akil, perhaps? It's co-created with his wife, Mara Brock Akil, and he also directed it. So he's definitely a very prominent showrunner for the show, his vision of it. So logline of the show, former Olympic athlete and high school principal Jefferson Pierce has a secret. He was once Freeland's superpowered vigilante, Black Lightning, an identity he swore to never take on again for the sake of his family. But when the gang, the 100, threatened the lives of his daughters, Jennifer and Anissa, he puts back on the Black Lightning costume with the help of his tailor friend, Peter Gamby, to take on the 100, their leader, Lala, and ultimately, and unknowingly at this time, the boss of that boss, Black Lightning's arch-nemesis, Tobias Whale.
So it's probably Tobias.
Tobias Whale,
Right.
yes.
But when
Who's Tobias? What is that?
It's Tobias Wahale. You gotta get it right, Tobias Wahale.
Wale.
But when
I actually wish that was his name.
yeah, right. But when they call him Tobias, I'm like, that can't be Tobias Church, because we already had Tobias Church in Arrow, and is a whole different actor, or unless this is an Earth 20,000 or something, I don't know. But I didn't hear his last name in the episode. I didn't take time to look it up. But
yeah, it's Whale.
Okay.
Get the harpoon. He's a good harpoon shooter.
I just realized the harpoon and the whale. Oh, that's so cheesy, actually, now.
Yeah, he's an arch. He's from the comic books. He was the first bad guy that Black Lightning fought in the comic books back in 1977. So, I really love the show. I thought it started off really strong. What do you guys think of? Let's start off with Chris Williams, who plays Black Lightning. What do you guys think of him?
The actor, his acting is, I would dare say, tops in all of the CW Berlanti verse.
Ooh,
Really? Wow, that high, huh?
He felt a little out of place, to be honest. I'm like, this is CW, because he doesn't chew the scenery, he doesn't overact, he's not a stereotypical anything. He's not the principal that beat everybody. He's just I was surprised, because I have very low expectations for CW. I watch a lot of CW stuff. I have very low expectations. And I thought he was really good.
yeah. What'd you think, Jeff?
Sorry, I'm still trying to. I'm sorry. I'm doing some technical stuff behind the scenes here, folks. We got to do this when we lose a guest. But so, Marx, why don't you go ahead?
Chris Williams did a great job. Oh, am I still on?
You're good now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, we lost you for a second.
Okay. Did a great job. I think I've seen a few other things he's done before. He's always been a really good actor. And I don't know if you guys know, but on Netflix's Luke Cage, he was really bummed that he didn't get that, and he was worried he was going to age out, if you will. And so he was very excited to land this part, and he's put all of his energy into doing a good job, and you can tell. So, what do you guys think of his costume?
Since I'd never really read the book, I thought it was cool. Battle armor is kind of a thing right now, and I dug it. I'm not hating on battle armor at all.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. Imagery of it, the picture, I wasn't so sure if I liked it or not. But in the live action scenes, I think it worked, And since he got shot early on, I would want to put some armor on. And I noticed in the flashbacks of showing Black Lightning in action, that costume looked very similar to like an earlier version of his costume back in the 90s. So that was a nice nod, because when he's clean, bald, shaved. Remember Justice League back then?
Now, I will, since you brought the costume, I'm going to bring a little bit of darkness, because I got to nitpick a whole bunch of stuff throughout all the episodes that we're going to talk about. But one is, seriously, you don't recognize your dad just because he has snappy little Morpheus sunglasses on.
But you know.
Hey, dude has swagger, right? He's got that very trim beard that's very stylized. Even though he's got the voice a little like Flash or whatever. Like, come on, you're 3 feet from your dad. Come on.
But come on, every superhero show does this. You just gotta accept it. You just gotta put that aside. I know.
I know.
It's better than like.
Better than. Sorry, you're kind of cutting out. Better than what?
In Superman, where he just takes his glasses
off. Or Supergirl,
off,
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least in Arrow, there's a hood and there's a lot of green makeup, and I mean, not a lot, but they vary with the mask and the makeup, whatever. But I don't know. Come on, I thought from the commercials he's going to be, pardon the phrase, he's going to be out, right? He's going to be a known, like Luke Cage. Luke Cage is a known superhero walking around the streets of Harlem. I thought he was going to be a known hero, and he's not yet. At least he's still kind of that secret identity. I'm like, come on, man, come on, Berlanti, you can do better than that.
So let me share some chat stuff here. Carrie, by the way, said there was an awesome interview with David. Yes, he was great. I wish I saw this before we lost David, but Victor had said, David, could you please say, or could you say, please leave a message after the beep, or else I will hunt you down. That would have been a great voicemail recording. And Racist says, I adored Black Lightning. It's what Arrow should have been in terms of social stuff with superhero. Yeah. I'm going to disagree with that, but that's okay. I don't actually need the social stuff in Arrow. We don't, I think the two shows can be different. That's fine. Racist said the neon was a bit much. I think she meant in the costume. Carrie says, Cress is really excited about the role, and you can tell. And Victor says, I like the fact that Black Lightning knows how to use his powers, and they skipped the whole season of that plot that he's learning.
Yes.
Well, it makes sense because he's been a superhero for so long. He doesn't have to.
Yeah, and he's smart. He is smart. I dig that.
Yeah, Carrie says, yes, Victor, it's refreshing. We don't need to waste time with an origin story. It was. I don't know. I actually like origin stories though. Like, it was very different not to have that. I agree.
Flashback would be fine. A flashback of how he got his powers, but not an Arrow. I don't need a flashback every 5 minutes for 5 seasons.
Definitely not.
But maybe one towards the end as they're they'll stretch the season out because that's what they always do. So maybe when they go to stretch the season out, give us a flashback episode.
All right, so Mark, to answer your question, Cress Williams, I thought was a very strong actor, very strong in the role. The original costume they showed in the video was really cheesy, but I think it was deliberately so. And then the new costume I think is pretty cool, actually.
All right, good. Yeah.
I love that Dexter's dad is his little gadget guy.
Oh, is that? See, I looked that guy up actually because I was like, oh, I know this guy, and he's been in a lot of stuff, but mostly like 1 or 2 episodes or something. Yeah.
Yeah, James Remar, I believe is his name.
Yes, or Remar.
Chronicles of Shannara.
Wasn't he in?
The
bunny. There's a stupid one about a bunny in a basement. I cannot remember that. It was on Fox. It was like a Married with Children kind of almost spinoff.
Oh.
Yeah, later it was this, and Bobcat Goldthwait was the bunny, imaginary bunny.
Oh yeah, I vaguely remember this.
It was amazingly horrible.
In the chat, Reza says his daughters will have the origin stories. That's probably true. Mark, you want to jump to that since you brought it up?
Yeah. So, what did you think of his daughters, Jennifer and Anissa? They're going to be in the comic books. They become superheroes too, called Thunder and Lightning.
Mm-hmm.
Who's who? Do you remember or no?
Well, the one who broke the sink in the end of this episode is going to be Thunder.
Thunder?
Yeah.
Okay. So the younger
just
one's Lightning.
Strength kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. Is that what does she have strength?
in the comic book, she can control her density and give herself a lot of invulnerability and super strength.
And
Now, are we doing spoilers? Because we're kind of dropping some things here.
Oh, well, you know.
Well, these are from the
comic
comics.
books.
He's talking like the comics. They don't necessarily going to follow the same thing as that, you know.
Yeah,
Sure.
I don't know. You know,
We haven't seen advanced episodes or anything. We don't know what's going to happen.
No,
So the other daughter's probably going to have the lightning power then, like kind of like
probably.
Yeah.
Now that I have small children, so I grew up with Disney, and Ant Farm was a specific show. China, I can't remember her last name, but
She's a
she
Disney.
is a young daughter.
She's a Disney actress.
Yeah, she is. She's really good.
She was just on
She's one of
Descendants
the few-
too. That's where I know her. She was Ursula's daughter
She
in
was-
Descendants too. Yeah, she was the villain in Descendants
Oh, yeah?
too.
Okay, so I didn't see Descendants 2 because I've been moving my kids off of Disney because it's gotten horrible. But early on, they'd watch it. So I've watched her kind of grow up on Disney, and she's done some singing and stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if they bring music into the show because she really has a passion for that. But being the younger daughter, I thought was a really good role for her. It's a nice transition from Disney to CW. Then hopefully, maybe we'll see other work from her later as an adult.
Yeah, China McClain maybe is her name. I want to say
Sounds about
China
right,
Ann
yeah.
McClain, I think. I will say, well, because my niece loves Disney Descendants, so I watched Descendants 2 with her. And I will say, like, she definitely is a good actress because her role in that is night and day different than what she does here on Black Lightning.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like the daughter. I think I like the older daughter a little bit more right now, maybe just because I think she's not quite as reckless, I suppose. Although,
Also, along with that, but that leads to the acting. All three of them so far, the acting's solid.
oh yeah,
It's not. God,
yeah, the ex-wife is solid. I like her a lot too.
yeah, I mean, I dig The Flash. I dig
Yeah.
Legends of Tomorrow. But come on, there's some people you're just like, no, this is bad.
Oh, see,
I mean,
really,
don't have it.
I'll disagree with. I say for me, the Flash has the best actors overall. That's why I still love the Flash.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. See, I think all three of these, like, there's no Iris in this group. They like run Iris out of town in this group, in my opinion.
I think it's more the way the writers have done with Iris rather than necessarily
Maybe.
the actress
Maybe.
whose name I can't think of at the moment for some reason. Candace Patton, that's who it is.
And that is possible. That is definitely possible.
Victor says, I have 4 sisters, and that is how sisters act toward each other. So he thought it was very realistic, the way the sisters interacted.
Yeah. So what do you guys think of? So this little made-up city called Freeland versus in the comic books it was the suicide slums in Metropolis. You like that change or don't really?
Oh, really? It was set in Metropolis, the original?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Most of it, yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't think since they want to do their own thing,
Or some of it, but that's where he's from.
I don't think they were going to set in Metropolis because they want to do their own universe here, kind of with this, right? So it made sense to create a new kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think they thought about making it Atlanta or existing city too, and they decided they wanted more freedom than that.
That's where they shoot it,
They
right?
also do. Yeah, that's where they shoot it, and I think the creator said that, or co-creator, he said that he didn't want it to come off as commentary on any existing city's culture or anything, so he wanted to make it something.
Well, because it is. Okay, I live in Atlanta. I don't live in Detroit or Chicago, and I know Chicago. Even when I visited there was like 2 murders while I was there. I mean, big making the news murders. So I understand there are cultures or areas that are almost war zones in America sometimes. I don't feel like there's a war zone as dark as this one anywhere in America right now. And I could be wrong, but and that's one of my nitpicks. There's not even nitpick. That's one of my issues. Okay, I want a show that reaches a culture that says, no, I've met people. I know people who live in a similar style of fear of these are the gangs. And you don't, like they were saying, you don't go to Club 100 because that's where the 100, by the way, is a gang in, what'd you call it? Free City?
Freeland.
Yeah, because that's an original name. But I didn't even catch that in the whole series. So anyway, the show rather. But I get it. You have gangs, and I love that they're telling the story. I love that they're telling the story about the school that was the safe ground, and this principal who's worked towards things. And I even though it's TV, it's CW, it's a little over top. I actually enjoy from the side of the oppressed people that they are commenting on the cops who pulled him over because he matches us a description. He's like, what? A black man in a suit and a mid-level suburban car? That's the description. And there's some little things that touch on the culture of America that's going on today. I like that. Why is it though we can't have anything that in this show right now? I know it's the first episode, but let's compare it to The Flash, which I will call White City instead of Star City, because in Whiteville they have fun meta-humans and everybody gets along on one side and everybody can work. There's no gang violence. And in Freeland, it's super dark and all the cops are gonna. I mean, I'm assuming he's a police commissioner, but
he's a lieutenant.
Okay, okay. So
or an investigator. They say he's an investigator or detective or something is what they say.
He's on the force, is what he is. He pulls some strings. And I was doing other stuff while I was trying to watch the show and enjoying it. But he even says, hey, you protest the cops, we're going to put a knot on your head. We're going to do this and that. You protest 100, they'll shoot you. And I was like, that's going to be the line we draw, is the cops are the bad guys? And I get there is an element to that. I want to see a show that is not The Flash, which is everybody's happy and then all of a sudden this meta flings something into a wall and now the Flash is fighting him. There needs to be a little more darkness in that show, but there needs to be a little bit of, I'd like to see more light as they build this. Like, not everybody's out to punch you in the face. Well,
this is a very different show, which I think is going to be why I have a harder time getting into it a lot. Because it is very dark. Like, I'm used to my superhero shows being more like The Flash, or even Arrow. Arrow, which is the grittiest of, before Black Lightning, was the grittiest of these shows. But it's about, yes, usually the shows, they have to fight some superpowered thing, right? That's their deal. And this show's not about that at all. It's about, let's fight gangs, basically. And I don't know, what do you guys think?
It's that Luke Cage heart. It's that Luke Cage heart of protecting my home.
Yeah.
This is where I am.
I guess I don't like that as. I guess I like more. Maybe that's the way I grew up with it. More like, even with Arrow, which is a lot of street level stuff. That when they've done a little bit of gang stuff, like with Tobias Church, I found that very uninteresting. And I like it when Arrow has a main villain, like Ra's al Ghul, right, or Deathstroke, where he has somebody to go against who is like a super villain in a way, right? There's like a bigger person he has to go against. That, I don't know, that's just kind of like, I guess, the way I like my superheroes. And this is cool. This is a different take on it. I get it. That's totally awesome. I don't know. I don't know if the gang thing, if that's all it is him fighting gangs, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna get a little tired of that, I think.
Maybe. I personally like it, and I get where you're coming from, and that's why they do the different flavor of shows, because there's different audiences, and it's three white men sitting here. We gotta be clear about what we're saying. It's not that you don't like the. I love Tobias Wale, because I get that. I mean, the whole in the first episode, the gang interaction of the up the chain thing felt right. Is the mid-level boss knocking down this guy and saying, you date this girl and do this. The low-level guy, desperate for his life, and obviously had made bad decisions throughout his life to start with, is making more bad decisions, like pulling a gun at a school. I liked how that was written, and then Tobias actually going, do I have to fix this, or do I have to get you out of the way? And then, are you going to fix it, or do I have to get you out? Basically, he's going to kill him. I like that part, but everything surrounding it is so dark. And I know there's an audience that reaches. I know there's people who live life.
Look at the Marvel Netflix shows. They're very dark.
Yeah. I feel like I know there's people who live in environments where they feel like that's the reality they live in. And what I'd like to see is us change the conversation a little bit and go, no, there's still hope out here. There's still hope that not everybody with a badge is going to beat you down. Not every white guy is going to harass you because you're black. And I'd like to see us change the conversation with these shows just a little bit and say there is some hope. And they've got the psychic that we talked about, the gadget guy, right? And he's white, and he's there protecting the city, or helping them protect the city. And we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. But I was like, that's kind of my only complaint about the show. 'Cause I loved it. I want to be clear. I loved it. And I get why, Jeff, I get it. I get it's not your style. But I'm afraid that when all we talk about is cops shooting black men, when we talked about in that news all the time, that's all that happened. And when we changed the conversation, not stop talking about it, when we changed the conversation, I don't know if anybody noticed, it went down. It still happens. We still have to act on this stuff. But if all you do is focus on hitting the brick wall with your car, you're going to hit the brick wall with your car. And I'm afraid that with this kind of show, just like with the Flash, I mocked the Flash. Just like with the Flash, it's honestly, for me, it's too white. It's too happy. It's too villain of the day. And I watch it every week. I like it, but I'm just saying, let's bring a little more hope to all of it.
All right, let me share some. There's a lot of chat going on as we were talking. Let's see. Victor says, heck, the police detective even states the police attack any protector. It is a very dark setting. Raisa says, I like a mix of the two. I guess she means maybe some dark and light stuff or lighter stuff. Victor says, I'm okay with the dark setting, but I do not want all the shows having a dark setting. Well, like Charles says, I agree. There should be a mix of things, so something for everybody. That's actually good. Old Titan says, for Black Lightning, there's a theme. They need to establish it. Eventually, there will be lighter episodes, but they have to establish it first. So he thinks, I think he's later on is going to get a little lighter. All right, so we got so Marx, I know because we're trying to actually, folks, get these shows in a little quicker. So what else should we be covered before we move on from that?
I just want to point out I like the use of music. I think they did a better job in general than most of the CW superhero shows do. And although Supergirl did a good little what's it, Bon Jovi thing that we can.
Oh yeah. I love Bon Jovi.
And then otherwise, what do you guys think of the main bad guy?
I think he sucked.
You didn't like him?
Here's the thing: we only got a little bit of him, but the way he did the few lines for me was like kind of over the top, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cheesy, man. Like that.
Yeah. We'll see. I'm hoping.
I like the other guy, the underling, like much better. Well, kind of. I don't know if he's underling, but kind of like the middle. He's kind of like the middleman guy, I guess, right?
Yep.
Whatever you want to call him.
Running the territory.
Yeah. He was very realistic. He was cool.
I'm blanking. I know his name. The boss in Daredevil, the typical
Kingpin.
I'd like to see a little more Kingpin and Tobias's acting, but we only got a little bit. We'll see. I like smart bad guys. You know?
Yeah, and he's. It's interesting. We got a hint of this long history of Black Lightning versus him, and how that guy was involved in his father's death and all this stuff. So it'd be interesting to get when we reveal more about what happened with all that.
Yeah, because I thought Black Lightning took him down, but maybe he did and he got back out, or I don't know. Like, in the past.
I think he thought he defeated him, and he was no longer in a city or something, and doesn't realize he's still in control of the 100.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like.
Well, and they thought they took Black Lightning out, right? Because he's been gone for 7 years. So there's a lot that we don't know yet.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to reveal that. I'm hopeful. I think the show started off pretty strong. It is a little on the nose on some of their themes sometimes, but I don't think it's as bad as like Supergirl last seseason was with some of their stuff.
All right.
Yeah,
and I think for a pilot, I think it's a good start.
No, I mean, yeah, I agree. I think it was a solid start. Old Titans, by the way, in the chat says, Easter egg of mentioning other superheroes in other cities, leaving the future open. That was cool. Liked all the TV news background driving the story.
Yeah. Oh.
Francis Fernandez just joined us. He hosts and co-hosts with us. I don't know if anyone had said this, but Black Lightning feels like a better Luke Cage. That's interesting. I haven't seen Luke Cage, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, you probably wouldn't like. Honestly, you probably wouldn't like Luke Cage. If you know
what? I got too sick of the Daredevil like darkness, so I just couldn't watch any more of those shows. Yeah.
Sure. No, I get that. I
don't think it's quite as dark as Daredevil can get, but yeah, it's dark.
I would probably like Luke Cage better than Daredevil. I think actually, yeah.
I think it's way too early to be making comparisons yet, but I think comparisons are definitely coming.
I will say I think the action was well done. I mean, he looked like he was kick-ass. Like he was like, this guy knows what he's doing as a hero, man.
Oh yeah,
like 9 years off on the bench didn't hurt him at all. Apparently,
well, I like that. His daughters are the same way.
I like that. Is that your car down there? That was a nice car.
Nice. No, that was something I didn't understand. So he's using electricity to hold the guy, but not kill the guy. But yeah, there's a nice burn mark on his chest when he drops him. I was like, I'm not.
Hey man, he's a veteran hero. He can really control his lightning.
Yeah, he's got some control and. Yeah, I'm not sure like what the body count was in that whole fight. I don't know if he actually killed anybody.
I don't think so. I think he just knocked him out.
Yeah, definitely beat him up pretty
Hopefully.
good.
I love the token white guy comes running out of the room covering his junk and turns around and goes back in the room. He still zaps him with the body. That was fun.
Like he was in the middle of like having sex with or somebody, right, or something.
Yeah.
I also like that he's a principal though. That kind of makes him very Like the fact that he cares about his students, that's pretty obvious. So that makes me like him, and root for him.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of layers. It's an interesting character. So do we decide where we're going to score this?
We did. Yeah, we have different systems for everything. Like for Arrow, we do boxing glove arrows. And the problem is, when we started the show last year, we said Flash, we're going to do lightning bolts, right? And they were like, God damn it, we should have done that for Black Lightning, but we didn't know that show existed back then. So Charles, do you have any ideas? Like, what can we do ratings for Black Lightning? Detentions for principals.
How many bullet casings? How many bullet casings do we give it?
What about thunderclaps?
What about spear guns?
Spear guns.
Now the Piranha scene was fun, where he just dropped the dude right in the Piranha tank, and there's a little.
That was so like kind of. I don't know. It was a little over the top though for me. I was like, it's ridiculous.
It was. It was. But it's fun. I liked it.
What? All right, well, maybe we can change it every week. Based on the episode. You want to do spear guns this week?
Spear guns, sure.
Hey, folks, you know what? Give us some suggestions. We need suggestions for the chat. Oh, Titan says whales. Maybe is it? We can do that. All right, well, we said spear guns. Victor says amps. Oh, Carrie says gold stars. Educators give those. I would like that. I was trying to think of an educator thing. Let's do that.
Send her a t-shirt.
Let's do gold stars. It's a guy, actually, but I'll send him a t-shirt. Let's do gold stars today. How about that?
Okay, 4 gold stars. What do you guys give it?
Out of 4, you say?
Yeah. You can do halves or quarters if you want. 4? Oh, wow. 4 gold stars. 5? You can't give 5. You give 4.
All right, 5, 4. I thought it was great. I mean, as a premiere, especially, okay, knowing my low expectations of CW, and again, I like all the shows except Supergirl. I have a hard time getting into it, but that's neither here nor there. But I watch Supernatural and some other stuff, so I dig CW. But I expected at a certain level, and it exceeded that. Now, if this was on Netflix, it'd probably get less because I'm used to that style. But for me, 4 stars is going to be right now one of my favorites to watch.
All right,
yeah, I'll give it 4 stars too. I think it's for a beginning show. It's a good start. Promises a lot of stuff with the daughters and the gang war and everything. So,
all right, ratings. So I'm going to give it 3 gold stars. I think again it was a solid premiere, a lot better than many of the superhero show premieres, which a lot of them I actually did not think. Actually, I didn't think any of the premieres were good on Flash, Supergirl, Arrow, to be honest with you. But those shows got much better. So it's a solid start. Again, I'm not as into it as you guys are because again, the tone is kind of not quite what I like the most in a superhero show, but it's a good start. Our viewers obviously very much liked it. Francis 3.5, Race 4, Carrie 3.75, Victor 4 gold stars with 3 points for extra credit work. Okay, good. There you go.
Francis doesn't count. Deadpool don't like you. I don't like you. Francis doesn't count.
What? Deadpool?
What?
What are you talking about?
Have you seen? Tell me you've seen Deadpool, Jeff.
Yeah, the first. Of course, I've seen Deadpool.
He's finding Francis the whole film. That's the bad guy.
Is that the guy's name? Francis?
Yeah, his name's, he calls him Francis, and the guy hates it, right?
Oh,
he spells it out dead bodies.
Oh, I don't remember all that.
I loved it. Sorry.
Oh, Deadpool was great. It was fantastic.
That was great. Yeah.
Old Titans gives it 3.9 to give room for growth. All right, very good. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the ratings, and thank you for the gold stars. Yeah, every week you guys can tell us what we should do on system-wise. All right, that's Black Lightning. We got 3 more shows to do, folks. Supergirl, Arrow. But right now, we're going to talk about The Flash. All right, this is the episode 10 of the 4th season. It's called The Trial of the Flash, written by Sam Charlton and Judalina Nera. They're pretty veteran writers of the show. Directed by Stefan, Plazensky. There we go. That wasn't too bad. All right, in this episode, Barry goes on trial for the murder of Clifford DeVoe, while the team tries to find a radiation-emitting Meta who's about to go nuclear. All right. So, let's see. All right, so anyway, this show, so a lot of it just picks up, from the mid-season finale where Barry got arrested, and now he's on trial, where the thinker there, Clifford DeVoe, framed him for his murder. And then he...
Now, I know he's the thinker, but come on. Do you not see Brainiac every time he comes in on scene with the helmet and everything?
Actually, I didn't know. I don't really, actually.
Really? The circles,
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, he's not in that anymore. He's not even in that anymore because he switched bodies.
That's true. That's true.
So now you don't have to look at him that way. All right. Let's start with the trial. The trial made up a big part of this episode. The trial scenes, right? Marx is already giving me a face. I actually liked the trial stuff quite a bit. I had a couple issues here and there, but did you not like the trial stuff?
It was okay. I mean, it was just a lot of prosecution going, look how bad he is, and him going, I'm innocent. It wasn't doing anything for his defense, so there was no twists and turns. The only thing we got was his friends trying to find information to help him. Otherwise, it'd been pretty straightforward.
By the way, the guy who played the prosecutor, folks, if you ever watched the show called The Human Target, which is also a DC comic character, he played the Human Target. That guy.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Really good, which I like that show. It was a short-lived show.
I've seen him in some other stuff too, but The Human Target was good. At the time when Human Target was on, I think NBC, I did not, or Fox, wherever it was, I did not know it was a comic book.
I didn't either. I just like, these are awesome action scenes in the show, man.
Yeah, right? It's great.
Titan says, at least this trial was shorter than 2 years, which was in the comics, he says.
Oh, was it really? Wow.
Oh my God, 2 years in the comics? Whoa, how did they do that? All right, anyway. Carrie says, I cover courts as a reporter. That's interesting. I didn't know that about Carrie.
Oh, then you're going to hate this.
He says, I've never seen a murder case go from arrest to conviction to sentencing in a month. It can take 2 years to get it to trial. Hey, there you go. That's why it took 2 years in the comics. They were being accurate.
Yeah. The comic book was being more accurate.
And Raisa says she loved The Human Target. Okay, very good. All right, well, you need a TV show. You know they're going to do it really fast, right? Obviously, they're going to... I mean, yeah, I get it, but they're gonna have to speed it up. Well, not always. Not a lot, but usually they will on this kind of show, probably.
Well, I mean... this show doesn't drag things out like that, so
yeah,
it'd be. I mean, the Flash is supposed to move. For him just to sit in a chair and stare at a camera, it's probably the best acting he's done all season.
What? Get out of here, man!
I know.
Grant Gustin is the best actor I think on any of these shows. I love Grant Gustin.
He's good. I'm messing on that one.
All right. So I guess I actually like the trial stuff. I guess the only thing is Cecile's her name, right? Who stopping the prosecutor to defend him. She's supposed to be like the best, but the way they did it was like she seems kind of incompetent to me. She didn't do anything. Even when she put on like the evidence that was supposed to catch the woman, the thinker's wife, she just made up a story and she was like, "Oh well, I guess it blew up in her face. I'm not going to ask her any more questions or anything."
She cries really good. I don't know what to do now.
The number one thing I'd base my whole defense on is, what the hell is he doing in his apartment in the first place to get killed? And where's his chair?
Why
can't walk.
Yeah, why did he go there?
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's like, come on. I mean, I get it's a thing, and it's a concept of like. I mean, my first thing at the end of Don't Run, where he like goes behind the Christmas tree and then like, Barry Allen. I'm like, okay, that's awful convenient, officers, that this cripple who has no chair anywhere in the apartment is somehow behind the Christmas tree, but he has a restraining order on me. I'm a CSI, so I know how to kind of hide this, but yet you caught me red-handed. Let's think this one through. It was, for the Flash, actually, it was just really kind of weak writing at the end of that show. And then I see what they're doing. I think they could have spent maybe 2 episodes, right? 2 episodes on it, and done a little more in-depth, Law and Order style.
Right. They should have played the Law and Order music at one point.
They should have.
Joe was on Law and Order.
Yeah, Joe should have came in and defended him.
Yes, something.
So Joe was a cop though in that, but still, it's fine.
Well, they have to defend him, but they're trying to find the stuff. He could have kind of been the cop finding the stuff.
Yeah. In the chat, Raisa says Barry in prison could get old fast. All right, so we'll get to that later. Victor says the Flash's lawyer sucked. She never questions how DeVoe got to Alan's apartment, checked DNA, why Alan would kill him. Carrie says that she never said why would a CSI leave so much evidence. Victor says Barry.
See the chat. I'm just saying.
Victor says Barry has no record of attacking people before. Yeah, so they're all with you there, Charles.
And why the cops show up right then? How they know?
No, because DeVoe tipped them off, obviously, or somebody had somebody tip them off.
But it's like, wait, that's still fresh.
Hey, the dead guy tipped us off.
Yeah, it's just too circumstantial. It is frustrating, but we're gonna move past it. Gorilla Grodd's gonna break him out of prison. And
that would be great.
We're gonna have fun in the universe.
That'd be great.
See, I was hoping whenever he ran off as Flash, really to go fight the metahuman story, the radiation dude. or Fallout. I was hoping that he would get some injuries from that, and then he'd have to come back to court.
Me too.
It would play up like I ran off to help the police deal with this metal.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Injuries. And I thought then you would be like, whoa, they've got to, maybe this means they'll go innocent. So at least he has some doubt. But there was no reason to think the jury would never try him as guilty.
But he's Barry Allen. He's not the Flash on trial.
Yeah. That's true.
No, I know, but
no, as Barry Allen, he meant as Barry Allen. He
ran off the.
Yeah, because I thought we were going to see some of the radiation burn still on him, and then they would thought that. But then I realized no, but it is healing. It's going to heal too quickly. Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So
then it was just kind of weird.
I like the moment in the middle where they did a new thing where he froze Iris in time, kind of him and her. Like he moved so fast. I actually like that moment. That was kind of a cool effect. And a thing they haven't done before.
Yeah, only he did that when he found the body before the cops busted him.
Now,
that's what I was saying, though, man. Yeah, that's what I said last time.
Here's what needs to happen in any superhero show except Arrow. Is because Arrow already was killing people and doing stuff in the first season. But as Flash, you gotta learn your lesson. The bad guys never play by the rules. And one thing he never saw coming was his wife is just walking around Barry with no prison, no nothing, just like in the same room, like punch her in the face. I mean, I'm not advocating hitting the girls, but she's the bad guy. Flash, one thing they wouldn't see coming is you just ending this right now. Is punch her in the face, hold on to her, do something. But he won't because he's Barry, and he's got to think about all these other things. And I understand the character, but I need a superhero who does, while the bad guy is telling the story, you just punch him, knock him out. Be done with it.
Well, you'll probably get that with Black Lightning, maybe.
Maybe you're right. You're right. It's like, I'm going back to Black Lightning. That's a great line. He shot. He was like, at least give a hero a chance to give a witty one-liner first. That's great, man. But that was it. He didn't even wait, right? He shot him, so yeah, I was just like, come on, Barry. Don't be Barry. Don't bury this up. Do better.
In the chat, Old Titan says, something I hate is lazy writing. By this, I mean writing characters to be stupid or act against character just to move the story to a certain point. I agree. These kind of shows do that a lot, unfortunately. I actually thought it was okay in this one, but this episode, I didn't have a problem with it. But
I don't think it's a big problem if he revealed his identity. He's not killed anybody like Arrow, true. He's and the city loves him.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about that. And then a lot of the criminals already know. All the returning criminals already know who he is. So, and really, a lot of his friends can defend themselves, except for Iris, maybe. But they all have powers.
Refortify Star Labs because they do have to fix that security because people just walk in there all the time.
They break in there anyway, so
yeah, just live there.
Carrie says, with Barry in jail, will be a great time for Wally to shine, but we'll get Stretchy McStretchers instead.
Yeah,
meaning Ralph
classic,
Dibny.
man.
So why don't we go over to him? So Dibs and Joe had a little stuff together. Now, Marx, I'm sure you love when they said, Dibny, I need your private investigator skills because you've been wanting him to do more of that, right?
Right. Yeah.
They didn't do too much of it, but he caught the photo of them, and then the main thing was kind of, I guess, to have Ralph of the scene where he tells Joe he's really telling him all about what he did, what happened with him, right, when he planted evidence, and how much he regrets it to try to show Joe not to do that.
Yeah.
That was good.
I'm just glad the first part of last season, or the first part of this season before the break, they had this deal with Microsoft to do extra bonus.
So, yeah, we talked about that.
And I watched this on CWTV.com in the CW app. And so I would see the Super Bonus clip 10 times in one episode. I was so glad they don't have that deal anymore. Because the first or second time, funny. 10th time, not funny.
Yeah. Old Titan says, best result, we get more elongated man. So he's excited for more Dibny. And by the way, Francis says, we've been actually, I guess, speculating on this, right, Mark? That he says Wally will be making his way to Legends as a regular. Now, I haven't heard anything definite about that, but
maybe.
There's been speculation.
There's some. You want me to say it? There's news about that.
Oh, no, go ahead, share it. Is it been confirmed?
Yeah, there was a tweet that Ray shared where they confirmed he's going to be on Legends.
Oh, all right. Well, there you go. You were right.
Yep.
Called it.
That's good. I think that's good for Wally.
Yeah, I think it's good for Wally.
Maybe get Thea over there, too. So they don't do anything with her.
Yeah, but Thea would fit. Wally's going to get eaten alive by that crew at first.
It'll be helpful if they get Reverse Flash again.
Yeah. Carrie says, I like Dibs. He had a great moment with Joe. I'm just not a fan of stretching heroics. Okay, he just doesn't like stretchy guys. All right, let's talk the radiation meta.
Fallout.
Fallout, thank you. That's what he's called. I don't know. I mean, it was kind of like, obviously, they just needed the meta to deal with, right? Well, Barry was in prison, I guess, is the deal.
Yeah.
It worked out. It was like, it's always nice seeing Cisco and Harry kind of, work together.
Yeah.
Things. What do you guys think of that part of the story?
More Cisco, more at a time. That's all I can say. Vibe Cisco. Give me all flavors of him. He's awesome.
I agree. And I love Harry,
Earth
man.
15. Is it Earth 15?
Yeah, they said that's a dead Earth.
I hope so.
Send all the nuclear waste there.
It is now.
Come on, Harry doesn't make mistakes like that.
Oh, crap. I dialed one digit off. Oh, no.
I meant 16. Oh.
No, I said 51. No. Yeah.
Carrie says the dead Earth is going to come back to haunt the team. Okay, they all get sent there or something. They're like, oh no, this is where we sent all the nuclear.
Is this going to be the new dead zone for Superman? Or, not the Phantom Zone. Why did I call it
Yeah,
that?
Phantom Zone.
Never mind.
Old Titans says, nice having a villain that really wasn't really a villain. Yeah, it was just a guy who was just didn't even know he was doing the radiation stuff.
Yeah. That's how it was with Fallout.
Time they did that. They put in somebody who just can't control their powers because you had 12 people on the bus. Surely, I mean, I know that you had the luck girl, but that was. It's about time you had somebody who just like, I never asked for this. I don't know how to deal with this, and now I'm going to kill everybody by accident, and I can't help it. It was good.
Yeah. Victor, by the way, says he rented an apartment on Earth 15. Oh, sorry, Victor. I hope he got some really cheap rent. And Francis says they didn't need a meta. They could have concentrated on the trial.
It's true.
I guess so.
Yeah. They put a few more twists in the trial instead of having that meta.
But part of it, I think, is they wanted to show Barry, again, he really risked his life again. Like, he was almost getting destroyed by radiation to save him. So they want to do that juxtaposition at the end with the Flash getting the award and Barry being sent to prison,
Yeah.
That's obviously why they did it.
It's true. That was good.
Yeah. And, and at the end, of course, and by the way, this is something I talked about, I think, on our last show, is that with the whole thing, Barry going to prison, I said it makes sense because they're paralleling what happened to his father being convicted of a crime he didn't commit. And obviously, and he even wound up in the same cell, right? We see as his father.
Yeah, it's ironic.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Perfectly predictable.
Well, I feel like then the guy who's in charge of the prison must really have it in for him or something, because it's kind of like...
Or maybe he thought he'd be more, make it feel better to know his father was there.
I don't know. I don't know how to take that.
So what did Barry go into prison? Any ideas, any speculation about how long he's going to be there, how they're going to get him out?
Half an episode, and I said Gorilla Grodd's going to break him out. They're going to get him the
no. You don't really think that's going to happen. Come on.
King Shark and Gorilla Grodd, buddy cop film. They take Flash out of the prison, show him how to be a bad guy.
They could definitely break him out, no problem. Yeah.
How are they going to get him out? You know what? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think he's going to be in there for long. Honestly, I think he's there for an episode.
I think it could be a little bit, maybe a couple, maybe even a few possibly, but I don't think too long. You're right.
If he doesn't get out next episode, he'll probably get out the episode after that.
Okay, how many episodes in this season was Grant Gustin not in the show? Right, he was in the Speed Force.
Only the first. He came out at the end of the first one.
Was it in the first one? I thought it was more than that for some reason.
No, I think the end of the first one he came out, right?
That.
Marx, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay,
The
so
then,
there's your answer right there. Oh, he'll still be in the show. So I don't know. Maybe he can be in prison longer because he's actually physically in the show, as opposed to being in the Speed Force.
Yeah. It could possibly be. I think even 3 or 4, maybe. I don't think much longer than that. You don't think so?
I doubt it.
I mean, I'm saying it possibly. I could see them going maybe that long.
I don't know how they're going to get him out unless the Thinker just releases information. Like the Thinker's playing with him right now. He just needs him out of the way for a little while, and then he's going to release him just to be cruel and be like egotistic. I don't know.
What a jerk. I do really like the new actor playing the Thinker, though. He's good.
Yeah.
I like the first one a lot too.
Oh, he was. No, they're both great.
Now, is he still going to have his psychic powers?
Yeah, he can read minds. Yeah.
Good. So I found that to be very, very interesting. that he chose him. He was subject number 6 is what they called him, and it worked out interesting. I like the actor. I most villains we find, they have a weak spot, and they have a weak spot. They're just going to have to be found out, and Flash can. The guy who can predict every possible outcome, how are we going to take him down? That's my question. It's like, it almost irritates me, right? Like with Damien Dark, I knew Arrow was going to have to go magic. You got to fight magic with magic. But with Thinkers, like, Flash is not going to outthink the Thinker. Unless he makes a whole bunch of time remnant copies of himself to do every.
We already did that, yeah. That's why the Thinker's so confident and egotistical. He's like, you can't outthink me. You're never gonna beat me.
Yeah.
His confidence is the only thing that might beat him. That's
the thing. Yeah, he's overconfident. You're right.
I think the wife's the weak link.
Well, no, that is too. If she gets jealous, if he starts to take her for granted, which he really hasn't yet, but if he does, or he doesn't feel like he needs her as much, right, that could be a weak link. Yeah.
Or if somehow they figure her out and because that is his weak spot. At least according to all the things that we've seen in the flashbacks and whatever, is her. So if somehow Wells will do it, Wells is ready to shoot him in his wheelchair in the apartment, which actually would have been an interesting twist to me if they just shot him right there in the apartment. Now what? But if they capture his wife, that could throw his game off a little bit too, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll write that, but they could.
Yeah. See, they might do something at the end where they do something so unpredictable that he can predict it, even though supposedly he's predicted every outcome. But I don't know. They do something so crazy that he never could have imagined it or something.
Flash calls for the help from the legends. Who would predict that?
Yeah.
And they're always chaotic. Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Let me share some chat stuff. Carrie says, of course, no one will equate Barry being in jail with the Flash going on sabbatical. Victor says, Captain Cold breaks him out. It'll be Citizen Cold now, though, I guess. Listeners Mate says, Barry being in prison is a way to introduce new villains. Could be. But then Carrie says, they don't need to break him out. He can just speed away from jail in the evenings, fight crime, and get back before they know he's gone. He could do that, too, actually. And let's see. Titan says, by the way, he says, for your information, Earth 15 is a dead Earth. It was a utopia destroyed by Superboy Prime in the comics, apparently.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Now, that's your twist. They bring Superboy Prime into the Flash.
And then Carrie says DeVoe's weak spot is his wife, and Racist says block his telepathy. There you go. There's some ideas.
Yeah.
All right. Much ideas. Thanks, guys. All right.
And that lawyer who was prosecuting him, that is the same lawyer character. The name of the character is that prosecuted him in the comic books too. The murder in that was when he murdered Reverse Flash.
Was he innocent there too in the comics? I'm assuming.
I don't know. I think he actually did kill Flash.
Oh wow. Jeez. Look at that.
I think for some reason he had to. I don't know. I could be wrong though. I don't remember it very well. Anybody know in the audience?
All right, yeah, somebody. I'm sure all Titans will know. I think he knows everything about comics. This is the way I think about him.
Two people, honestly, just to throw my shot out there real quick, two people I know that would know would be Chris Wisdom and Casey Strohs, who both are huge comic geeks and are huge DC comic geeks. And, maybe Casey can come on with you one night and really be the comic guy for you.
Absolutely.
Cool, yeah.
Cool. All right, so I think that wraps up pretty much our Flash talk, right? Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so guys, we do this out of lightning bolts. All right, so again, out of 4 lightning bolts is the top score for this episode. Marks, what do you give it?
I give it 3 lightning bolts.
3 lightning bolts. All right, Charles.
I'd say 2.
Oh, wow, oh man! All right, he was kind of average.
It was Cecile. Cecile killed it for me because she would every episode she's been smart, intelligent, beautiful, understanding, a mature woman, and now she just doesn't do her job. It's like, come on.
I will say that the actress that plays his wife, she did a fantastic job on the stand and stuff.
She's an amazing liar. Yeah,
she's amazing.
She convinced the whole jury.
She's an amazing actress.
No, I like her a lot, actually. She does a really good job on the show. I agree.
Yeah.
Kim Engelbrecht, I think is her name or something. Correct me if I'm wrong, folks.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to give it. I actually like this a lot. As you know, on the show, I think the Flash is at its weakest season this year, but I like this one. I think it's kind of a return to form. I'm going to give it 3.5 lightning bolts. All I was very interested in this episode. And Erasa gives it 3.0. Victor only gives it 1.5. He did not enjoy it, obviously. And Francis says 2.5. Some fun scenarios, but ultimately disappointing. All right, kind of all across the board there with this episode. All right. So we got 2 more shows to talk about, folks. By the way, folks, if I got some new geeky stuff, which I put in the background. If you spot it, let me know in the chat. Tell me if you can spot what I got there. All right. Now, though, we're going to talk about Supergirl. All right. This is yes, get excited about Supergirl. This is season 3, episode 10. This is called Legion of Superheroes, written by Derek Simon and Eric Carrasco, directed by Jesse Warren. While Brainiac 5 goes into Kara's mind to revive her from her coma, the DEO and Legion of Superheroes try to figure out a way to stop Rain. And Lena and Jimmy try to figure out if they'll kiss some more or just be awkward. All right, so that's my description of the episode. All right, so let's start with the Legion of Superheroes, which we got in the mid-season finale and before we left. We already had seen Manala come back. We got to see Saturn Girl, who I thought was great, Imra. And then now we get to see Brainiac 5 in this episode. What do you guys think of Brainiac 5 and Legion and everything? By the way, Old Titan says, long live the Legion. The Legion is his favorite thing of all time in comics. So this was his episode.
Yeah, it was nice to see the Legion. At first, Brainiac 5, I wasn't sure if I would like this version of him. His look was a little odd, but his performance is really good. And he really, by the end of the episode, I really liked the character. That actor is from, I believe he's from Defiance, if I remember correctly. He was really good on that show too. And
who was he in Defiance? Was he one of the the teenagers?
Yeah, he's one of the teenagers.
Oh, was he he was the kid, like the alien, of the main 2 aliens who were, he was the kid, right?
Crime Lord.
I know exactly who you mean, yeah.
Yep. So he did a good job. It's a different interpretation of Brainiac 5 than I think of from the comic books, at least what I've read, but he's got a little more awkwardness to him and stuff than I normally picture, and his hair's different, of course. But I liked him at the end of it. I thought he was very endearing. His awkwardness, super intelligence.
Awesome. In the chat, Raisa says, "I loved Streaky," and that Streaky was a black cat. Her cat. Carrie says, "Brainiac 5 looks like he'll be a breakout character," and Francis says, "Strong episode with a goofy-looking Brainiac 5."
Yeah, he looks a little goofy. They need to tweak that makeup a little bit more, but still, good acting.
Did you like Brainiac or no, Charles?
Yeah, no. I always have hard times with Brainiac interpretations, right? When you read it, it's your own thing, and I saw it in some of the early DC animations, the Brainiac 1, and it fit. And then I saw at the end of there's a series of DC animations that was a Justice League, like Justice League Frontier, maybe it was, where they end up going into the future, and it's Brainiac 8 or 9, and he's a kid. And it threw me off because the kid was like, "Yeah, I'm generations of Brainiac." I'm like, but I don't know. It was so. I thought the acting was good. It's going to take me a while. It's going to take me a while to process this is a Brainiac and see how I like it.
So in the chat, Francis says, "I've seen comparisons to a blue-skinned Doc Brown from Back to the Future." I can see that. Old Titans says, "Brady's look was absolutely horrible, but nailed the character. Saturn Girl was terrible all around. Wrong personality, wrong powers, wrong look." All right, now, I'll admit I do not know much about the Legion. However, I love Saturn Girl, man. I love her in this. I think she's great. I want to see so much more of her.
Yeah, but I think she's a telepath, not a telekinetic, unless there's a different interpretation out there.
You're right, because we saw her powers in this, and she was telekinesis, right? Is what she used in this episode.
Yeah, that's probably what he's talking about. Yeah, but I like her personality. And
I do.
And the rings make them fly, which is cool. It's how
is it the rings that let them fly? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
the Legionnaire rings. Is that what they're called?
Yep.
Nice.
So.
And her accent is so good, by the way. Oh my god, I love her accent. All right, so let's talk. So while Kara's in the coma, the rest of them are trying to stop Rain. Fu has decided to bring justice to the city, which I don't know. I guess they don't really show this necessarily, but it's kind of alluded to. I'm assuming that she's probably killing a lot of these people. She's bringing the justice, right?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what she's doing. So I don't know. What do you think about that storyline where they were trying to, they're trying to get kryptonite and do these kryptonite bombs or stuff, right, and all this stuff, and
it's kind of neat in a way. When she attacked the prison and was attacking everyone, or actually, it was really good whenever they did the trap in the bank. I thought that was that's the most clever I've ever seen them be on the show. Their group usually is always one step behind on everything.
Because they pretended to rob the bank.
Yeah,
right? And then they had steal something that made her go down or something, right? They put over her.
I'm not sure what they hit her with when they jumped down and hit her, but then they put a kryptonite necklace on her. Chain. But yeah, that was cool. It was a good combo. It was a good setup and everything. Didn't work, of course, but that was impressive that they did that. And I think it's interesting to see Rain going ahead killing people, because there's been characters interpretations of like Supreme from Image Comics. He's sort of like a Superman, but he's more extreme, where he'll kill people and such. At least when the character first started, and so it's interesting to see when you take one step too far and you just decide to become the judge and executioner kind of deal. And so in a way, Rain in her mind is a good guy, but she's gone too far with it, where Superman or Supergirl could always be tempted to go too far.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We're talking about the Rain stuff and how they try to stop her, Charles, right now.
That's good.
He was really impressed with it.
I try to like Supergirl. It's not for me.
That's all right. So yeah, this season this is my favorite season by far. I think it's firing on all cylinders this season. I've loved it.
Cool.
Yeah, it's been a good season overall. And I think now Rain's going to have other allies, so it's going to be interesting to see. I guess they're other world killers, maybe. I don't know.
That's right. The hologram said that to her, right?
Yeah.
Now they're also doing the Legion of Doom over in Arrow, kind of. So I'm wondering.
They don't call it that, but you're right. They have a whole bunch of people together.
Yeah, they don't call it that, but it's very evident that that's where they're going. And of course, in Legends, you got Damian and.
That was a terrible Legion last year with the Legends, I thought.
Yeah.
Like the fake Legion of Doom.
Yeah, you need Gorilla Grodd if you're going to have Legion.
Yeah, well, he is part.
Yes!
Sometimes he would be the leader of the Legion, actually.
Yes,
one of the main ones.
It's like either Lex Luthor or Grodd.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're like the two smartest ones.
Watching them go at each other, at least in the cartoons in my memory, it's like, don't turn your back on them.
Carrie says in the chat, my biggest gripe with the show is watching Jean get beat up by everyone. Martian Manhunter is a boss hero, and treat him as a whipping boy irks me. I agree. Martian Manhunter is supposed to be way stronger than that, right?
They always do that. Always.
Because it's always like, how will we ever stop her? We don't have anybody. Makara, you got Martian Manhunter right there.
I know.
Let him go beat her up.
It's always how it is in the comic books and the cartoons, everything. It's like, dude, this is like Superman.
Why doesn't he get respect, man?
And telepath.
It's racism against Martians.
Yes. He needs his own show. Go on.
He does. Then we got more Carl Lumbly as his father, too. That'd be good.
Yeah.
It'd be a sitcom with him and his dad living in an apartment together.
Instead of Frasier, it's Martian Manhunter.
Francis in the chat says, it's great that Rain is just too powerful for the crew to fight, but Rain keeps holding back for the sake of the story. She could take them all out if she unleashed. All right.
Yeah.
Probably. Old Titan said... Oh, go ahead.
Instead of breaking her ankle, Alex's ankle, she could have messed her up pretty bad really fast.
Oh, yeah. So. Well, part of it could have been that Sam, right, his actual name. Maybe some of Sam is still in there, Maybe that's why she can't go all the way, because she's holding her back a little bit.
Could be.
But tell us that. That's my thing. Don't make us do headcanon. Give us the struggle on screen.
Racist says, please more Carl Lumbly, who we've had on our show. He was awesome. He plays Jean's father. He's actually played Martian Manhunter for many years on the animated series. He's awesome. All right, let's talk Lena and Jimmy. Did somebody come up with a good name for this yet or no? A good ship name?
Lemmy?
No, I thought we said that was terrible, though. Wait, it was something with the last name.
Wait, temporary?
Volson? That's kind of all right. Maybe temporary. All right. Anyway, so they kind of followed up. They had a kiss, right? And before we went on hiatus, or they went on a hiatus. And then they're kind of like a little, oh, what should we do? We're both friends with Kara. Jimmy, you dated Kara for like 2 seconds. Is that going to be weird? So they're kind of awkward about that, right? And then Linus thinks he's being awkward because of that, but he's really just trying to cover for Kara being in a coma. So anyway, I did kind of enjoy, even though it was a little silly, I did kind of enjoy that Jimmy made the stupid soup thing, and then he rushes like, win, I got a problem, you got to cover for me. And then Jean pretended to be Kara, which is, I'm not, like, it was fun, actually. Because I enjoyed John saying, like, I never want to talk about Jimmy Olsen's amazing kissing ever again. Which was fun. That was really fun, actually. And they play with that. But I'm not sure why, in other times, Jean seems to play, when he takes the form of other people, like her mother, or he plays him very well. And this, for some reason, he was not playing her very well. Right? Like, it wasn't really...
He was only halfway trying.
But what did you think? Did you like, was that fun, like, kind of bit to the show?
Funny.
Yeah.
It hit some good notes.
Yeah.
I mean, John Martian, he delivers, because I always want to call him Jeff Johns, which is not the right thing to call him.
So that's the guy who was in charge of the DC.
John Jones. It's John Jones. I think is his name, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's always called Martian Manhunter, just to be clear. At first, I didn't quite like how he's played in the first season, but then he really grew on me, and him delivering those deadpan lines is fun. I like it. It's fun.
It is, and it fits. Like, it fits his character. Yeah. Like, that's the last thing he would want to have to do.
Yeah.
All right. Reyes says Lena and Jimmy is so forced. She doesn't like it. Because I predicted it, so I actually do, because I think it works. But look, it also...
I think it works just fine.
I think it works.
Is that a shield on your arm, or are you just happy to see me?
He gives us something to do, too. He knows he's barely been Guardian this season.
Exactly, yeah. So, exactly. They need something for him to do. So why not make out with Lena? She's, like, super beautiful and intelligent and, like, a genius, so... all right. Old Titans says, 2 more pods to open, 2 more Legionnaires to reveal. Hey, so good. So why don't you tell us in the chat who you think they're going to be?
Bouncing Boy...
There's a lot more Legionnaires than just 2 more, though, right? In the comics, so...
Oh, yeah, there's a whole... It's
just
gigantic.
like the Justice League.
Karate Kid, right? Karate Kid.
Yeah,
Leaping
Kid.
Is there Leaping Lad? No, I'm making that one up, right? Lightning Lad, right?
Oh, yeah.
Something like that. There's all kind of lads.
Cosmo Boy or Cosmic Boy or something like that. That's another founding member, so he'll probably be in there.
All right. All right, let's talk... let's see, Kara. So Kara finding her way out of the coma was another big part of the story, and Brainiac 5 going in there. What did you think about that part of it? No, Charles didn't like it?
It's tropey. It was fine, but you knew it was coming. Because that's how every show does it, right? Mm-hmm. You know, you can't just... I don't know how else to do it. I don't have an answer. But you know, every time a main character goes into a coma that's on any kind of action-based show, you're going to go in their mind, and either they're going to be... like in Gotham, dealing with their demons by following the true love, or you're fighting their way out of it. Brainiac going in, him being introduced to the show, you kind of knew he was going to do that because he has that ability. So, I don't know. It's all right. What did you guys think?
Marx?
It was okay. It was a little straightforward for that part, but I got to know Brainiac 5. That was the good part. He wasn't in it. It would have been really bad. It would have been really boring.
I mean, You're right. It's a pretty standard way to do things, but I thought it worked. Oh, go ahead. Yes,
the visual, whenever she like really got angry and shot her heat vision and such, and everything was blowing up, that was pretty cool.
It was. What I like though is some issue, at least I had, and I think some maybe Mark you did too, is that I didn't understand why they've been so focused on saying, Kara, I don't want to be human. I'm an alien. I can't show my humanity, right? And in this episode, like, it was finally like she realized she needs to be Kara. That's how she got out of the coma, right? So I'm hoping this finally gets her back to stop being so cold and, like, I don't know, and like start being more like season 1 Kara, who is like cool and friendly, and I really liked a lot, and not be a human being like how she grew up most of the
time. But an independent, strong human being, little less Supergirl in the city, like Sex in the City type deal. That's my problem with the first season. It was like, yeah, I'm with you. She was fun. She was vibrant. I liked watching her on screen. I don't know, the bumbling. I don't know what I'm doing. I fall in love with everybody. I didn't care. I didn't like Olsen and her together. It just didn't work.
Yeah. Well, luckily that lasted. The shortest relationship in history.
I'm pretty sure he's not that great a kisser because it kind of.
No, Marx. Now we know it's not his kissing. He's amazing kisser. So it wasn't that.
It was just too amazing. She was just too like, whoa, I can't handle this.
Lita should say to her, like, how could you ever have not broke up with him? He's an amazing kisser.
On Flash, the Vibe's girlfriend, I can't remember her name, the one who jumps, the Huntress. Gypsy. I want more strong female characters like that. I think Supergirl should be more like that of, I kind of know who I am now. I mean, we're talking about third season. She's gone through all the stuff she's gone through. She's had the love of her life run off and get married on another planet, and it's time to grow up. And I think bring her back warm, happy. But I've learned from all these journeys.
Mm-hmm. Racist says I never liked her identity crisis to begin with. Yep. And then Titan says about the Legion, Chameleon Boy would be great. Cosmic Boy, Lightning Lad are the most obvious. He said for the other two pods. All right, we'll have to see. Cool. All right, last thing for Supergirl before we move on. Thomas Colville, who is the cult leader guy of the Super. Now he's kind of helping Rain, it seems like, at the end there, right? Which I think makes sense. I actually like his character, to be honest with you. It's an interesting twist on the story, and I like the way Chad Lowe's playing him a lot.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of that?
I like it, except I was going, how did he get there?
You don't ask questions about these kind of shows, Mark.
He got out of prison and ended up in her secret lair somehow.
But somehow he knows all about like the Kryptonian stuff, right? So maybe somehow he was drawn there. I'm not sure how he got out of prison.
And traveled there.
Maybe she broke him out actually.
Yeah, maybe they didn't show that part, but yeah, it was that was the only part. I was like, "What? How did he get there so fast?" But otherwise, it's an interesting turn of events. So
yeah, it gives us a pivot point, right, to see where the next episode can go, and lets them go off in a different direction with the story.
Yeah,
yeah, it'll be interesting to see. And you know what? We also learned about the Legion gave us some interesting facts about the future in this episode too, right? About how it's Earth and they have to save it and stuff and what they're doing. I'm liking the Legion in this. I think they're doing a good. Again, me going in with no expectations because I don't really know what the Legion's supposed to be. So
that could be a good show, a good spin-off show for them someday.
Oh shit, you're right. We keep talking about Birds of Prey, which is still my number one choice. Yeah. But Legion could be a really cool group hero show.
It could be.
I know Old Titans would be dying for that, man.
No, yeah.
He was on panels with me dressed as a Legionnaire in Dragon Con. It was great. Victor says I like the cult leader is an interesting mix to the plot. All right, cool. So by the way, folks, right over my shoulder here, I got this awesome. I know it's her in the background, but this Flash backpack at Box Lunch. I'll bring it closer. Yeah, Box Lunch is also new store to open near me. It's all geeky stuff. It's amazing, like stuff I never see anywhere else.
Oh,
that's
cool.
The bag over my other shoulder for it. Yeah. I got a couple glasses right here of Batgirl and Harley Quinn. I'm trying to point in reverse direction.
They should sponsor us.
Yeah, they should. I thought about that, actually. I might approach them. Because they're a fairly new store. All right, so that's it for Supergirl. We do this out of capes. 4 capes is the highest rating. Charles, what do you give it?
I thought it was better than most of what they do. I'll give it 3. 3 capes.
3 capes, Marks.
I'll give it 3.25.
All right. Yeah, you know what? I think, again, this is continuing the trend of a very strong Supergirl season. I'm going to give 3.5 capes.
Ooh. All
right. Victor says, the Legion leaves out the part where I take over the world on April 11th, 2066. Oh, that's interesting, Victor. We'll mark that on our calendars that you're going to take over the world.
That's a very specific date.
Yeah. Victor gives it 4 capes. Francis, 3 capes. Okay, Old Titans, well, he has a whole bunch of ratings here. 4 for Brainiac, 5's character, 0 for his look, 0 for Supergirl, and 3 for overall story. Man, he loves the Legion. Yeah. And Racing gives it 3.5. All right, thanks, folks, for your ratings. Hey, we have one more show to do. Marks, what's that show?
It's Arrow. Episode 10 of Season 6, Divided. Written by Ben Sokolowski and Emilio Ortega Aldrich, directed by James Bamford, who's directed quite a few episodes and does a lot of fight choreography. The Arrow team discovers Caden has been spying on the team in their headquarters. Oliver decides to team up with an unlikely ally, crime lord Jerry Bertinelli. And Dinah spends time with Vince and gets closer only to realize that Vince is working with Caden and his evil team of Legion. And Black Canary, Wild Dog, and Miss Terrific decide to create their own vigilante team.
Nice.
So you guys think about Caden's dream team. Are you liking them? We weren't sure if we liked them or not, especially Boots when we first saw them. But what do you guys think of the little villain dream team so far?
I gotta see more. I don't know yet.
Wait, is his name Boots? You said, right? Is that what we said?
Remember that was the one where like, who is that?
Yeah,
guy?
is this Boots?
I think he got shot. Right?
He gets like one line in this episode.
Yeah, a whole line.
Boots is ridiculous. Just get him out of there. Vigilante gets a lot of stuff to do this episode. He's pretty cool still, I think. Like he is
pretty cool.
Now that we know what he's doing, rather than just appearing like for an instant last season.
Sure.
Yeah.
The racist tweeted this earlier, and she says it right here. Michael Emerson is being wasted, and the others are boring. So she thinks Michael Emerson, who is a great actor, he's been in lots of stuff, as Caden James. They don't think he's being used. See, I like Caden, but I kind of see her point. It seems like they could do more, I guess, with him than they are. Maybe he's like, I don't know. What do you guys think about Caden James?
I think. Go ahead, Marx.
Yeah, I don't really understand his thought process and his goals. Maybe once we understand that, it'll make more sense. But I feel like he's playing around with Arrow too much. He could have taken him out by now.
Yeah, if you watch him on... These are variations on a theme, right? You watch him on Lost and how he did that amazing character. And then you watch him on... I think it's called Person of Interest. And how he's a good guy, but doing the same kind of manipulation. And then you watch him here, it's just like... I kind of think you're bringing Alexis to a Hugo show. You know, he is being a little wasted. But I agree. I think you nailed it, Marks. I think it's because we can't figure out what his motivation is. He's not a dark manipulator. He's not the hero who can't. But here's what he can do to help somebody else do. You know, which is the other two shows I mentioned. He's another kind of. I mean, he has a face, but follow me. He's another kind of faceless villain that we're fighting and we just don't know how to do. And I'm hoping they'll just really twist out and do something specific with him. And this Legion, he's Legion 2.0 or whatever, you know, that he's building.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead.
They hinted at his motivation about something about his son's death, but they haven't really explored it any further than that.
Right.
And until I understand why he's doing what he's doing, it's starting to become... And because he's popping up so much, it's starting to become kind of like he's kind of becoming a generic character now, you know.
And let's be real. How do you not know there's a camera broadcasting in your secret lair? How do you not do bug sweeps every week? I mean, come on. That was like.
Well, when you're Caden James, if he's that smart, the idea is he could have done it.
I mean, he could, but he didn't do it. Canary did.
No, but I guess they say he gave her the technology to plant, so he could have designed it where it couldn't have been detected. I buy it.
Again, you have Felicity Smoke, who's smart, and then they'll write her ignorant a little bit, and then they'll write her smart, and they'll write her, and it's happened multiple times throughout the seasons. She's supposed to be a super computer genius, but when the story suits, she's not quite the super computer genius. Yeah. I don't know. I'm sorry. You're being hunted by an FBI guy. Or woman, rather, Arrow. How do you not protect yourself 7 ways to Sunday? You know?
Yeah.
Wild Dog was testifying against you. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I want this show to be better than it is. And it feels like they're the freshman college student. They were great through the high school years, rock stars in high school, right? There were some ups and downs, as high school has it, but I enjoyed all the first 4 seasons. And if I'm crowning right, we're in season 5, right?
No, we're 6.
Season 6. So the first 5 seasons, ups and downs. I thought 5th season kind of wobbled a little bit, but I enjoyed it. You're in college now, man. Grow up a little bit. Let's get a strong, solid Arrow team, and let's stop every season being the team's gonna fall apart because I don't trust anybody.
Yeah. So I got a lot of stuff to share in the chat. Actually, here's a close-up, folks, of my Flash backpack. This is the Justice League version of the Flash, by the way.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Cool.
It's actually really nice backpack. It's really awesome. Yeah, stuff on the back too. It's cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that to cons with me, man. When I go to cons now, that'll be my backpack.
Yeah.
Anyway, I actually think this season of Arrow has gotten back on track. I've seen this. I think it's quite strong. I'm really digging it. But in the chat, let me see what we got here. Vesa says newbies acting like babies. I think she means like the those three. Actually, I'm going to agree with that. Well, sure, we'll talk about that later on. Old Titan says, did anyone else feel like they were trying to copy Daredevil's long fight takes in the warehouse? I didn't, because I'm actually think Daredevil's fights are way overrated, and I actually much prefer Arrow fights. I'm probably in the minority on that, but that's fine. I know. No, I don't. I know everybody.
No panels for you, sir. No panels.
Nah, screw you, man. No way, man. Dude, here's the thing. I am like a connoisseur of action fight scenes, and like going back to all the Hong Kong films, Jet Li, Jackie Chan, and stuff. So there's a certain.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think Daredevil is that amazing. Like when you compare it to all these other fights I've seen. I know people love him. That's cool. I'm glad you like him, but.
Well, I like the Daredevil ones, but I do say the one-shot fight scenes in the warehouse were pretty cool.
I think they were awesome.
I think they're up in the game because historically Arrow's battles have been well over choreographed and not that great. So I think doing this one shot is stepping up the cinematic game a little bit.
They did it earlier in that season. We talked about the one around the car, right? That one,
yeah,
which was amazing. Yeah, they're really doing some cool stuff with the fight. I hate the choreography department this season. I'm loving it. And it was him going against everybody, man. I was like, damn, Oliver's kicking ass. It's great. Let's see what else we got here. Old Titan says, enjoyed overall story. Felt like Ollie's big trap was kind of lame. Francis says, this was a painful episode. Oh, boy, I have so many comments. I'm losing them. Villains are weak. The B team are a bit whiny, and Ollie's proven he can do this all by himself. Licious May says, the only thing I really liked was two things. Number one, Thea. I love Thea. And having Oliver take the high road and wishing the members of his team good luck on their own. I agree. Both of those were high points for me.
Because if he didn't, then you just killed 3 or 4 seasons of character growth. You know?
Yeah, that's the thing. I really love... Oliver has actually become an amazing character, I think. I've always liked him, but he's really gone through a great growth. That people don't think give him credit for, to be honest with you. They always say, like, oh, he's so brooding and stuff. And like, no, not actually, he's not really anymore.
He's still carrying a whole lot. He had to murder a whole bunch of people. And he watched his dad kill himself. You don't get over that, man.
Let's see. Victor says, the same hidden camera that was in the Flash HQ. Oh, the thing.
Yeah, same. I feel like they're cribbing on each other a little bit. Identities getting revealed, and law enforcement getting in the way.
And last thing, is that Licious Bay says, I also thought this episode was a way of using Curtis's balls without saying the phrase Curtis's balls.
Everybody was using Curtis's balls.
Yeah, his balls are very popular now.
T-spheres, man, come on.
Everybody wants a piece of Curtis's balls.
Except his ex-husband.
Oh, that was, come on, it's too soon.
Too soon. Laura, I apologize.
I did like that they had a Bertinelli, whatever.
Bertinelli, yeah.
Yeah, the crime family in there with Jerry, Bertinelli, or whatever. They mentioned Huntress a few times.
I so wanted her, though. You know how badly I want her back. I was like, we mentioned her, but she didn't see her.
I know. I hope someday we do get her back. I'm hopeful because they keep mentioning the crime family, at least.
That's true. They didn't say she was like dead or something. She said she's like underground.
Yeah, in hiding or something. And the actor is a pretty good actor. He's a star in Stargate Universe. He's also plays a really interesting character in Travelers. And
I love Travelers. Wait, who is he in Travelers?
He was one of the rogue team members.
Yes. Oh my God, I know exactly who he is. Holy shit, that's a totally different role. He's great. He's very
Travelers season 2. Yeah, has new cool stuff going on. If you haven't watched.
Oh no, I've seen it. That's my favorite Netflix show. My favorite. It's amazing.
Yeah.
If you guys like time travel out there, folks, and you haven't seen Travelers, it's really well done.
It is. This is one of my favorite shows right now.
Yeah, it is. And he's done a bunch of other stuff too. It is kind of a shame that he doesn't. He's not going to be on any more episodes. but it was nice seeing him. And hopefully we'll see Huntress again. And what do you guys think about Black Canary and Vigilante? This whole play out between the two of them.
Well, I actually like that. Again, I think Vigilante, I like him. But I also like that I haven't figured out if he's totally playing her or he actually does really still care about her, and he's got some end game that Caden doesn't even know yet. Like he's doing his own thing. Like I don't know exactly what he's what side he's totally on, and that's interesting to me.
It doesn't make sense why he would work with them, unless maybe he's thinking he's going to double cross them at some point.
Maybe he's trying to play them.
Yeah,
but he's also not being totally honest with Dinah, obviously.
No, so I don't know. It's kind of weird.
It's heartbreaking for Dinah because she just got kind of getting back with him, and then she's like, you betrayed me again.
It was cool when he ripped his hand out of the handcuffs and he saw it heal up.
I forgot. That guy can heal.
Yeah,
he took her out way too easy.
Except
though.
half his face.
I don't know why. He took her out way too easy. He just flipped her over and she was done. No, she should have been able to she's a good fighter, man.
Yeah,
it's true. I thought so too. I guess he just surprised her. I don't know. So interesting turn. It's made Vigilante more interesting to me, I have to say. Mm-hmm. So I'm way more. I'm the most interested in Vigilante now than I have been the whole season, or 2 seasons.
Give him his own show. Let me see that darkness happen.
Yeah, right. That's Punisher.
Yeah, I know. That's too much like Punisher, though. Yeah. Black Canary, White Canary, Yellow Canary. It's just kill her all. Don't kill her and then bring her back. Can't somebody just stay dead for once in the comics? It's weird because I finally got used to her in the first one. I've never cared for her character. It's the way and they did because it's how they wrote it, and they wrote it right. It's the way they wrote it. It's not a character that resonates with me. But I said that's good writing because I understand it's a typecast that I would see in the real world that I would not want to associate with. But they did this great story arc, and she dies, and everybody's sad. And then she's not dead because she's a bad guy on a different planet. And then they just kept bringing her back. Now she's in the whole season. I was like, but then Dad's getting to her. And it's like, can we put a period at the end of this sentence at somehow, some way?
About Black Siren?
Black Siren.
Black Siren. Yeah.
I like her more as a villain, though. This is the best incarnation of her for me.
Yeah, I mean, but they should have done it earlier, honestly. It took too long to get to it, I think. But that's just me. I like the darkness.
Listeners, it says, too many canaries.
Yeah.
Too many canaries.
Yeah, although I like how Dinah is not even trying to be a canary. Dinah's just like, I like this as a weapon. I mean, you can use it as a weapon. And I dig that.
So what about Thea and Lance? We got to see some Thea?
Yes, I love Thea. Thank God. I mean, again, I'm bummed that she's not kicking ass in the costume. But it's nice to see her back, at least helping out in the mayor's office. And her and Quentin, they had nice moments, like when she's like, you're a father to me and stuff. That's very nice, And they've always, I think, worked well together.
Right now, second maybe to Ollie. She's one of the strongest characters because she came back. I get my seasons mixed up, but a season ago, maybe 2 seasons ago, said, I'm done with the vigilante thing, and she stuck to it, and she's been running the offices and covering his back, which is exactly what he needed. And as much as I would actually enjoy seeing her suit up and fight some baddies, I like how they're doing the character development on her. All right. And Quentin's amazing. I've always loved him.
Quentin's the man.
He'll always be my oh, damn it. What's that magician that he was on Sci-Fi?
Harry Dresden.
Yeah.
Dresden. He'll always be my Dresden, man.
Hey, that gives us a great segue, Marx, because a week from tomorrow, on January 29th, Marx and I and some others are going to be playing the Dresden Files Accelerated, which is an RPG game all about the Dresden Files. The gang from Evil Hat, which makes the game, is going to come run the game for us. You can see this on this channel, supergeekedup.com, 9 p.m. Eastern on Monday, January 29th. So if you like Dresden Files, or even if you don't have to know anything about it. It's going to be like a because I've only read a little bit of it. It's going to be like be set before the book, so it's not going to ruin anything if you haven't read the books. But come join us. You get to play wizards and vampires and werewolves and all that cool stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah. It's a fun universe. It really is.
Cool. By the way, I've asked your last question already about the team name, Marks. I'm getting some good answers in the chat for when we get to that.
Oh, did you? Oh, great. Awesome. So we also got some Felicity and Curtis trying to help out Diggle. And it looks like it took this time at the end. How do you guys feel about that? And the fix? Is it good?
It's good.
Does it feel like a cheat?
No, I like that it was fixed. I like it. It was a cool moment at the end. Oliver throws him the gun. He grabs it. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm badass, and I'm back."
That was a cool shot. Yeah.
You had to. I mean, you have two of the smartest people in that known universe working together. She can walk because of Curtis, and they've done all kind of other stuff. Great tech together. How do you not fix the shaky hands? And I'm glad they did. It's cool.
I bet Cisco and Wells could have fixed it a long time ago.
Yeah, that would have been like one episode. Oh, you're shaking. Hold on. Here, drink this coffee. All right, you're good now. It's magic coffee.
Hey, in the chat, Victor says he's played the Dresden Files game several times. It's a great system. Yes, it uses the Evil Hat's Fate Accelerated system, which we've done on our streams before. I love that system too. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
It's a little lighter than normal Fate Core. Should be fun. Easy to follow too for people watching.
Yeah.
Well, we already talked about Curtis's balls.
Never get enough of Curtis's balls.
So the second team, the splinter off team, the newbies, what should they be called?
All right, let me share some chat answers. Old Titan says, since there's no Batman, let's use one of his name, Outsiders.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, you can't do Outsiders.
Francis
Black Lightning's it's my team.
Is that a Black Lightning team?
He was on the original Outsiders.
Ah, okay. Let's see here. What do we got here? Oh, Francis says the other guys, but here's my favorite one from Francis. He says 2 guys, 1 canary. That's great. That's oh my god! I so wish they call it. Or somebody makes a joke about it, like Felicity or somebody. I wish.
Oh my god.
I don't know. Do you think? Yeah, they're probably gonna make right. You gotta have Curtis is probably gonna make some dialogue about like what should we call ourselves, guys? Right? And he can do some goofy things.
Easy, but that's about something fun.
Victor says the Rogue cards. That's kind of a cool name.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Anything with Rogue in it sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. And how long do you think that's going to last?
I don't know.
It could last for a little while. It depends on what they do with this arc of because that throwaway it was not a throwaway line, but it kind of was at the end of before the break, where the main bad guy with the glasses,
Caden James.
Caden James, thank you. Where James was like, we got to fight themselves, and somebody I forget who it was that was like, yeah. Very impressive because if you leave the arrow to his own devices, the Russian comes in, is like, yeah, because if you leave him to his own devices, he'll always push away people. So that's really nothing you did.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So,
totally.
But he's working, but that's been that theme. So I'm wondering if we won't have a kind of like 2 storylines going on where they cross over, and because I thought it was a little too easy when they call the whole team together. The whole team, and Wild Dog's back in, but that was a huge breach of trust. If they just patch it up with some pierogies and coffee, that's not going to work for me,
Yeah.
See, let's talk about that though, because that was kind of the biggest thing for me. I thought it was really big of Oliver. See, again, it shows his growth. I think that he was the bigger man. He stepped up and said, "I messed up. I breached your trust, but there's bigger issues here. Everybody, we've all could have done better. We've all hidden something or betrayed something. Let's put it aside and do what's best for the city." Right? And that was great. I said, that's really awesome. And it shows how cool Oliver is now. And then those 3 were kind of like, you betrayed us, or you spied on us. We're leaving still again. And I was like...
Because they're young,
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it was like, what a bunch of whiners.
Wild Dog betrayed the whole team.
That's the thing. Like, Wild Dog's like... He just who cares? I betrayed everybody.
I know me. I do whatever I want. I'm cool like that.
Well, okay, so he had to keep his daughter. But my thought process is, how the hell is that going to play out? You're testifying against Oliver, theoretically, for this weird rogue FBI agent who has a bug up her ass about the Arrow and Oliver Queen specifically. How are you secretly testifying and still being on the team, and obviously wanting to be on the team and helping them? But I don't see how you untie this weird spaghetti knot of a storyline, and wrap it up nicely. I don't know how are you supposed to play that out.
Yeah,
and remember, Black Canary was keeping secret that she knew who Vigilante was and was talking to him and stuff.
That's the thing. It would have been nice if Oliver admitted to what he did, and if they could have actually seen, like, oh, you're right, we kind of also messed up on our end, but they're not able to do that right now, obviously.
I think what's going to happen is they're going to get their butts kicked and realize
Yeah.
they have to learn to do.
I think Felicity's daddy is going to come in at the end and do his supercomputer hacking stuff and screw up the FBI's case.
Oh, that could be really cool.
That actually could be okay. That could be how you untie this mess.
You know what I kind of like to see, because I was kind of just annoyed by those three. I kind of want Oliver to just like go into a fight with against three of them and just kick all their asses, which he totally would do.
No, he totally would. Yeah.
I don't know.
That was their training for 6 months.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. You know what also kind of showed me though, even though I like Curtis and Dinah, and I have some issues with Renee. You know, there's some good stuff about him, like with the daughter and stuff. But I actually like when I see Diggle, Oliver, and Felicity together again. I'm like, yeah, I remember the good old days when it was just those three. Like, I'm okay if it actually got rid of the other three, to be honest with you, and it just went back to the original. Like, that works for me. Like those three, you know.
It gave more reason for character growth. So I like to have him on the peripheral, but I didn't feel like he needed that big of a team. I mean, I agree he needs a team because by himself he gets way too dark and way too locked up in his head. But you're right. We got Diggle, we got Felicity, we got the team back. Bench the kids. Let them go do something else for a little bit.
Yeah, Carrie in the chat says this show's roster is too big. Maybe it's time to cut some folks.
Maybe one of them's going to die.
Send them over to Freeland. They need a few more heroes over there.
Yeah, but interesting. They moved to another city. They go Bloodhaven.
Oh, now you're talking.
That's where Nightwing hangs out, right? Yeah.
Yes, and they've already referenced Bloodhaven. That's where Tobias Church came from. Come on now. Now you're talking.
Yeah, we can't see Nightwing though because they won't let any Batman stuff in here.
Screw you,
silly.
Yeah. It's DC stuff, you know, or DC and Warner Brothers and whatever. Yeah, you know.
First, Nightwing's going to be in Teen Titans, but whatever, or the Titans.
Oh, well, that's obviously, but that's DC's own network. That's why.
Yeah,
that's their online network.
Whatever.
You know that's like, yeah.
Warner Brothers makes it way harder on themselves.
Because Batman's in Gotham. I think they're saying we don't want Batman anywhere else, you know, besides Gotham right now.
Batman is not in Gotham.
Well, I agree.
It's not.
I agree, but you know they have a Bruce Wayne who's going to become Batman.
Yeah,
maybe someday, perhaps.
Well, not really on that show. He shouldn't because it's so many years. It's too many years unless the show goes on for like 15 years. But,
yeah,
which you probably won't.
Yeah.
All right. So, do we want to go ahead and rate it, guys?
Sure. Boxing glove arrows is what we do. 4 boxing glove arrows is the highest. Yes, this is my favorite system. Let's see. Well, Marx, what do you give it?
I thought it was good overall, but it wasn't as strong as a lot of the other episodes. So I don't know, like another 3.25.
All right, Charles.
I think it was on par with other episodes. You know, not the best, definitely not the worst. I'll give it a 3.
All right, cool. I like this one quite a bit. I think it was a good return. The whole thing with the different teams and the breaking up and stuff is interesting. Even those guys annoy me. I'm gonna give it. I'll give it 3.5 boxing glove arrows.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. In the chat, Old Titans gives it 3. Francis 2. Listeners make 3.25. All right. There you go. Thanks, guys. All right. Hey, that's all the shows. So there we go, folks. Before we get out of here, though, Charles, why don't you tell people where they can catch you online, what you do, all that good stuff?
I run a very awesome network called Giant Size Team Up. Network, giantsizeteamup.com, where you can check the flagship show that I'm on, Breaking the Panel with Paul Klotz. Was Christopher Wisdom. We love him to death. He's got some stuff he's going to be off doing, but he's a partner in the company, and we're going to bring him back. If you go to our Facebook page, you'll see his little ghost away from keyboard. Picture up there. And Casey Stroh's, we host that every week, talking about fandom and comics and geekery and social issues and how this stuff plays in. I'm sure we're going to be talking about Black Lightning and the stuff I brought up tonight there. GiantSizeTeamUp.com/breaking the panel is that one. If you like Pokemon and you're playing Pokemon Go, I do that with Brian Ibbett and Joseph R. Pokemon Go podcast. And I I get deep sometimes and go off the rails and talk about my life experiences on Rock Out of Podcasting at rockoutofpodcasting.com. All the social medias are attached to those pages, and if you just look up Breaking the Panel or Pokemon Go or Rock Out of Podcasting, you'll find me. It's really cool stuff.
Awesome. By the way, it is really cool stuff. And he does awesome stuff at Dragon Con.
Yeah, we're going to be a lot of cool, awesome stuff at Dragon Con hopefully this year.
Yes, and we're talking with Charles about this particular show being at Dragon Con, actually. So, DC Action Hour. So we shall see.
Maybe we can get David Sobolov on live with you at Dragon Con.
Oh, that would be excellent.
Hey.
That's a good idea. Yeah. Listeners made the chat says, I bet anything that there will be a show in the future in Arrow where Curtis fights for the rights for his balls. Well, they are using his balls. That's true. So
yeah. That's a copyright infringement. Give him back.
Carrie says, great show, folks. Happy New Year. Thank you, Carrie. It's good to be back. Marx, besides this show, where else can they find you?
You can find me occasionally gaming with you guys on Super Geeked Up, like in a couple weeks here. Also, you can find me over at marxpyle.com, where you can find links to the podcast I co-host called Genretainment, where we interview different writers, filmmakers, all sorts of folks, creative folks. And then keep track of me on any projects I'm working on. So right now I'm teaching in college, so I'm getting crazy busy with that. But got some stuff coming up. And you can keep track of me on Twitter at Mr. Marx.
All right, of course, folks, supergeekedup.com is where you can find all our stuff. At supergeekedup is on Twitter. Speaking of that, actually, we have Super Geeked Up live. Actually, our new season premieres this Wednesday, so we're back with new episodes. If you haven't seen the show before, we do a mix of geeky chat and geeky improv games. So it's kind of like a Whose Line Is It Anyway, but all geek themed. We always have a lot of fun. We have, Lisa Bersati, who's hosted with me before, is going to be our guest co-host. That's all. She's also fun. Charles is actually going to co-host some of the ones coming up later this season as well. So you get to see him. It's 11 p.m. Eastern. We're going to do that every Wednesday. We're actually more episodes this season, so we're giving you more than last time. Hope you can tune in. It's always a lot of fun. We always love hearing your chats, your comments in the chat. You can help us play the games and come up with suggestions and all that good stuff. So 11 p.m. Eastern this Wednesday is we're going to kick that off. And, of course, we have a Patreon page, which is patreon.com/supergeekedup. That's one way you can really help us out. If you dig the geeky stuff we're doing, please, any amount is super helpful. I know some people like Victor and Francis in the chat already do support us. Thank you guys very much. It is much appreciated. And as you said, so the gaming we're going to be doing every so often now, folks, for special episodes. And again, a week from tomorrow, that'll be January 29th at 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll be doing our Dresden Files Accelerated with the folks from Evil Hat. So you'll watch us play that. And then we'll be doing some other stuff later on. All right, that's pretty much it. Remember, this show we've now changed to 9 p.m. Eastern, so an hour later than it usually was. Glad you found us tonight. So yeah, you'll see Marx and me there. You'll see Charles on Super Geeked Up soon, and all his other stuff, a million other shows he does on his own channels. Thank you very much, Charles, for joining us. It's always a pleasure.
Always fun, guys. Loved it.
All right, and thank you, Dave, again. David Sobolov was a great guest. Loved hearing about Grodd and voice work and all his other stuff he does. Very interesting. Let us know what other guests you might want to see on this show. And we'll try to come on. All right, cool. Victor says he sent the channel a bag of 1,000 pennies each month. That's actually true. That is, if you convert that to dollars, that is his donation. Thank you, Victor. It's much appreciated. He actually does not send me pennies, but that would be interesting if he did. All right, cool. Thanks, folks. That is it for us. We will see you next Sunday to talk the new episodes of all the shows. See you soon, everybody. Bye.